Please.
Hey! Good evening, everybody. Watching, waiting in the chat room. Can anybody see? I'm in series. I've come to visit him in the Netherlands, as I've just been told to say. Anyway, today is the 31st of August, Thursday the 31st. And on our panel today, we have artists from Germany. We have Patricia UK, Holland and Holland today, me in series, and with special guest Santos Bonacci from Australia. Hello, Santos.
Hey, how are you guys?
Fine, man.
Hello.
Good.
So, Santos.
How are you?
Oh, great. Lovely to be with you.
It's always lovely to be with you, Santos.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you.
We always look forward to Santos coming on our Hangouts.
Yeah.
Because he always has lots to say, don't he?
Well, I'm glad. Yeah. True. I do have a lot to say because I research a lot, and hence you come to learn a lot. And when you learn a lot and you know how important it is, you want to share it with the world. And that's what I've done with my presentations. I've shared all the best truth, knowledge that can possibly shared with humanity. I've shared and exposed more falsehood than I don't know anyone that has done more in vast fields. I know others that have dedicated themselves in one specific field and have done many, many more volumes than what I've done in that particular field, for instance. Sure, there's lots and lots of people, but syncretism, no, it's not going to happen. This is the best syncretism you will ever get, where it shows that the universe is made of conscious energy, magnetism, and it produces toruses, and all is toruses. We are torso toruses. The terra firma is a terra torus firma creation, and I've explained how you model that energy astrologically, and how all the scriptures are speaking astrotheologically. They are registries of astrological and astronomical phenomena. In that sense, they are history. Otherwise, they are not history. They are literary documents, and I've proven that conclusively. There's a lot of people out there who rubbish my work about having proved that the Bible, what the Bible is, and I've proved it beyond any doubt, with the volumes and volumes and volumes of material that I have published, proving that the Bible is a literary document. It contains transcendental truths and not historical facts. And many people, they're going to be just coming a grief if they go down that path of taking the Bible literally. These are fools. These have been hoodwinked by the Jesuits. There is nothing, absolutely nothing in the Bible that is literal. It's literary. And this is what... this is how the buffoons who go after literal, finding literal meanings in scriptures, this is how they are described in a beautiful book called Javadharma. This was from the 1800s, a great religious science guru there. And this is what he says about people who take scriptures literally. Sri Krishna takes birth, performs activities, and gives up his body. So how can his form be eternal? Krishna is Christ, okay? So Christ also comes to earth, yeah, historically. How can he be eternal at the same time? Lahiri Masahaya asked, Sri Krishna's form is Satchitananda, ever existing, full of knowledge and completely blissful, Babaji replied. His birth, activities, and giving up of the body have no connection with mundane matter. Now, this is Krishna, who is the same as Christ. I've read both accounts. I've been reading the Bible since I was a little boy. Expert on the Bible. I know the Bible upside down, backwards, inside out. I quote it all the time. I know it better than any pastor who ever lived, because I love that book ever since I was a little boy. And I've read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and I know that it is purely literary, for the ones who have eyes to see and ears to hear. As for the rest, they shall be deceived. See, chimneys don't prove Santa Claus. And people are looking for Noah's Ark in the Bible. Oh, it's on Mount Ararat. Well, that's an artifact of some other history. It's not Noah's Ark, because Ararat is Aharetz in Hebrew. Aharetz means the earth. Noah's Ark landed on the earth, not on Mount Ararat. The Romans named it Ararat. You see? So people are looking for history facts. There's no fact in the Bible. There is only truth, transcendental truth. Let me continue. Then why have such descriptions been given in Mahabharat and other scriptures, including the Bible? Babaji answered, the eternal truth defies description, for it is beyond words. The pure soul, in his spiritual aspect, sees the transcendental form and pastimes of Sri Krishna. When he describes that supreme reality through words, it appears just like worldly, mundane history. Those who are capable of extracting the essence from scriptures like Mahabharat experience Krishna's pastime in a specific way. However, when people of mundane intelligence hear these descriptions, they interpret them in different ways. Yeah, according to their delusions and Jesuit lies. When one meditates on the form of Sri Krishna, the conception which arises at the heart is limited by time and space. Lahiri Masahaya said, how can one transcend such limitations and meditate on Krishna's true form? Well, this is it. We have to meditate with our transcendental mind. Nothing historical. We got to forget about the history. It's transcendental history. The Bible is full of transcendental history. There is nothing, not a shred of any history in there except what the Romans post-redactedly, if that's a word, did. Okay. So, and the reason
not about transcendental. Was Osho actually also speaking a lot about the transcendental steps of your mind stuff? Getting out of the knowledge, getting into the wisdom, actually looking into, opening your eyes. Because the knowledge is the blinding glasses through where we see only through that knowledge and not for what reality is.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so people put their own blinders on. You know, they start, some people, they've only been studying the Bible for 3 years, for instance, and not all their lives, as I have done. At every stage of my life, child, teenager, 20-year-old, 30, 40, and now in my 50s. And you need years and years and years of reading the Bible to understand the Bible. And I've got the years and years and years. And the Bible is pure transcendental truth. In it, you will find a registry of astronomical phenomena. You will also find astrological phenomena, for they are the same thing as well. Two sisters of the same science. And as well, you will find biochemistry in the Bible. The Holy Land is your body. Check out my video. Your Holy Land is the body. Check out Secret of Secrets, the elixir of life hiding in your body. And you will see how the great masters George Carey and Inez Perez laid out that in the Bible is a code for how you ascend. Jesus is the oil in your body. Christ is the Christ consciousness. The Lamb of God, Aries at the top of the head. Moses is Mars in Aries at the top of the head. Moses means drawn from the water, also of fire. Mars is the ruler of fire and water. Mars, maritime. It's Moses. You know, and people are looking for Moses, so he went through the Red Sea. We actually found the spot where he went. We went there historically. BS. Bullshit. There's no historical. All the nations had their gospels, and they created the cities on the earth that mimic the heavens, like the pyramids on the Giza Plateau. They mimic the Orion belt. That's a no-brainer. And the same with Angkor Wat. The same with all of the pyramids all over Egypt, India, everywhere, they all named their countries according to the ecliptic. Jerusalem, London, Rome, these all come from the ecliptic. I've proven this in my presentations. And when you look at the ecliptic, you will see the cells in the mind of God. This is the body of God, the universe. So, the reason why I'm fired up on this subject is I see a lot of truthers going astray with the Bible. They've got no clue what the Bible is, man. To know what the Bible is, you need to see all my presentations, not 20 minutes of it.
No.
And then say, oh, Santos, aren't some of your conclusions very tenuous? None of my conclusions are tenuous because they're not mine. Everything I put in my presentations comes from the books I read. I'm not original, I've said that. There's people say, oh, Santos's conclusions and opinions. I don't have conclusions and opinions. I study the books, then I show you the truth. Same here.
Yep.
Astro, because I heard someone say that astrology was given by fallen angels according to the Book of Enoch. So we should not be studying God's language, astrologos, the word of light, the word of God. Oh yes, but astronomy is okay. Well, what's the difference with astronomy and astrology? None, except for the modality. This one is speaking, this one is writing. Astronomy is names, name. To name the stars. So one is speaking the stars, but the other one is writing the stars and speaking about the stars, the logos. See? And people say, and then someone said, I heard them say, oh yes, but the Bible condemns astrology. No, it doesn't. Where does it condemn astrology? Nowhere. I've read it. It condemns astrologers just as Jesus condemns lawyers. He doesn't condemn law. Woe to you, lawyers.
Was it in the Bible? Prove everything. That's what is good.
Breaking up.
Prove everything and keep that. Yeah, in the same Bible, prove everything and keep that what is good.
True.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, so if the
Bible condemns the Bible, then where actually is that particular proof? It should be in the Bible then. You know.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
A lot? Well, yeah.
You have to.
If you're attacking,
you have to
articulate
about Serious, you have to articulate a little bit more.
Louder?
Just a bit. Because you're just breaking up just a bit.
So, and now I lost what were we talking?
He didn't hear your question. So that was the problem. Yeah, I think he's getting something in a book or something right now.
Yeah, I'm listening. Just ask the question again, please.
Yeah, but a little bit slower.
I lost my question, actually.
Oh dear, well, I need to remember it now. I can't think of what you said, but I know what you said.
Where were you talking about?
You were writing it down on the thing about what it was, really, weren't you? Earlier on.
Anyway, so the point is, why then? See, the Bible is full of astrology. It encourages astrology. Mm-hmm. How so? How so? Job 38:32. Well, there's God talking to Job saying, can you tell forth the Mazzaroth? That's the zodiac. That's God. That's God talking to Job. Can you tell forth the Mazzaroth in its time? Can you tell forth all the constellations? Because if you don't, you do not know me. Because the Father is the source of energy. The Father is the firelight of the universe, sound, sonoluminescence, and it's the source of energy. Hence, the Mazzaroth, the ecliptic, is the only thing that can interpret energy and model energy. And how do you model energy? Well, this is what I want to show you today to prove that astrology is the universal science.
Then we basically all are energy. The plants, the people on the earth.
Because as soon as I see half-truthers discrediting astrology, mate, I'm going to run them out of town. I'm going to shame them and disgrace them for their stupidity. How dare they say that the Bible condemns astrology? And if the fallen angels did, according to Enoch, did teach man, some of mankind, the fallen arts, that just simply means they taught them an inverted version of the true science. Because the true science is the science of energy, which is astrology. So if the fallen angels, if you take that literally, that the fallen angels taught people the science of astrology, that's not the original man. No angel teaches man anything. Man is already created by God with every wisdom and knowledge and perfect. God creates Adams and Eve. They are perfect. They do not require and need any angels to teach them anything. So obviously when Enoch speaks of 200 fallen angels who came and taught how to make, steel and fabricate with metals and music and astrology and all of these sciences, yes, perhaps they did. Like the Jesuits started teaching us about the globe. They went throughout the whole earth and taught everybody about the globe and deceived them and put them upside down, didn't they? Well, the same thing with the fallen angels. They're teaching people a wrong astrology, how to abuse astrology, because astrology just is. How can we say it's from the devil? It's from God, because God created all things, not the devils. They created the false version of it.
Well, and indeed, often with a false version, there's always some truth in it. Only you have to decipher for yourself what is really the truth and isn't.
Okay, now for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, take my many, many lifetimes of Bible experience, and especially 50 years straight on this timeline, take it from me and learn what the Bible is. This is what the Bible is. It's pure astrology. The Bible is based on the ecliptic. Find an ecliptic. It's a sine wave. It's the torus field. This is the sun's expression of toroidal energy with respect to the earth. That is it. This is how the sun speaks to the earth. Because the sun starts at Aries, at the equator, goes up to the Tropic of Cancer, brings summer to the northern hemisphere, then goes through the scales of Libra to be judged, and then it must fall, like Samson falls to be killed by the destroyer, by the Philistines at winter, at the winter solstice here. So you've got your two equinoxes, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, Leo, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. There she is, Delilah, the one who betrays the sun, and he gets his hair cut. Samson, right here. Okay, and then here is Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and then Sagittarius, the arrow of the archer, he actually hits the sun in the heel. The 21st of December is where Jesus gets a nail in the heel, and then on the 25th, 3 days later, after the solstice, starts again up the ecliptic. Has to go all the way up to Cancer again. Capricorn to Cancer. Capricorn to Cancer. That's why all the festivities are in Capricorn and Aries, Cancer and Libra. All of them, because they are the cardinal points. And all the Hindus, the Jews, the Christians, whoever they were, they all followed syncretism. They all followed the true science of energy. And this is the sun's expression of energy, pure and simple. So then when you get this, And then you understand the Masonic keys that were given to us from antiquity. There you can see clearly there, they put the equinox line here, and there is Aries, the Lamb of God, Taurus, Gemini, Tropic of Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and the equinox that's coming up on the 23rd of September. So you've got 21st of March, equinox, 21st of September, 23rd. And here you have the 21st of June, the solstice. Notice, please pay attention. Pay close attention. These are the keys to understanding our heavens, how they are made. This is the firmament. This is the firmament that astrology speaks about. Only the Bible, that people are claiming that they're experts on now all of a sudden, and astrology, see, told me, he speaks about the firmament. So when people ask me, what's your model of the universe? Well, I say the one that I've always had. Geocentric, Ptolemaic. It was good enough for trillions of years before Copernicus, the Jesuit liar. That's good enough for me. And what is that model? Well, it's 10 spheres. We live inside a torus field. It's a torus field, which I'm going to show. And then it says the 8th sphere is the firmament. Then above that is the crystalline sea. The water's above the firmament. And then above that is the prima mobile, which is the dome. So astrology's got it all. This is the model, guys. This is your model. This is everyone's model, because this is the one we live in. And then people say, oh, Santos is crazy, you know, he expects everyone to accept his model. No, I don't. I'm just telling you what the true model is. It's not Copernican, it's Ptolemaic. It's a torus field, period. No argument. There's no argument. All this proves that it's a torus field, because Taurus, the sign of Taurus, you'll see how Taurus is the torus field. And the whole thing is your torso. You see? So that ecliptic started at Aries at the equinox, then went up to the Tropic of Cancer, there's Cancer, then went down through Libra, the scales in the middle of the body. Pay attention, because the two scales are the two kidneys, yin and yang, in your body. And that's the crossover point. That's the dielectric point.
Yeah. Wait a second. For me, that looks a lot like a DNA structure. Also.
We're getting to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting to that. This is the double helix. Helix is Helios. When you see Helios on the ecliptic going like this, doing his waves in his torus field as he goes round and round or whatever he does, he is creating DNA, because he is Dan, Adan.
Yeah.
And he is Dominus, Atum. It's all the same word. Everything is Atums and Tauruses. So, here we have that. Here we have Leonardo da Vinci showing the ecliptic. Aries, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There is the sun in the middle at the Last Supper. Why is it the Last Supper? Well, because in Libra, as you can see, the disciple of Libra has his arms widespread, because that's the scales of Libra. See, Gemini is the hands. Why? There's Aries, there's Taurus, there's Gemini, the two hands. Why is the disciple, why is Gemini doing this? Because Gemini rules the hands, yeah? Taurus, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, the twin hands, the twins, and the twin lungs. Gemini rules the breath, the respiratory system. Aries rules the cerebrospinal system. Taurus rules the endocrine system. Cancer, the digestive. Leo, the heart and circulatory system. We are a torso-torus field, and it's all astrological, all of it, period. Nothing literal in the Bible, no history, no Noah's Arks on top of Mount Ararat. Aharetz, the earth, Aharetz, not Ararat. I'm correcting someone here, not you guys, but when that person, if they get to watch this presentation, they will be corrected and humiliated for their stupidity, because they haven't watched enough of my presentations. I will say to anyone, if you haven't seen all my presentations 5 or 6 times over, stay at that level of literal. Stay there.
Don't take minutes, take at least 20 months.
Oh, these people will be reincarnating for 400 lifetimes till they work out what I've done in my presentations. The true way to read the Bible, the only way. And that's not haughty and presumptuous. That's caring for people. Because time to snap out of our delusions and stop listening to these idiots that get on their soapboxes who think they know something. They know shit. They know absolutely crap. Here is the Bible. This is what the Bible and all scriptures are based on. All of them. Bar none. Equator. Sun's ecliptic. Oh, we have positive and negative. Yes, because simple-minded people see everything in twos, in duality, boy, girl, positive, negative. But it's not. There are 12 things going on in the ecliptic. Astrology teaches us this. Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Capricorn. You bring the circle around, and hence you create the DNA. And you create the Taurus field. All is Tauruses. To remember and know where you live, you must remember 3 things. All is Atum. As above, so below. Man is the measure of the universe. What does this mean? Well, all is atum. Atoms, your anatomy, are millions and millions of torus fields interlacing into one torso torus field, which is your body, which came out of a uterus as it slipped past the clitoris. And you were born with your torus torso. So this, all is atum, because all is these torus fields. They have a dielectric inertial plane, then they have diverging centrifugal energy, and so we have here the Tropic of Cancer. Cancer. This is what the Bible is made of, all of this. Even in Job, the Bible... God says, can you see Ursa Major in Cancer? Do you know how to tell the Pleiades in Taurus? The Big Bear in Cancer. Orion, can you see, do you know Orion? Do you know how to tell when they're coming? This is the Bible. Genesis chapter 49, when Jacob collects all his sons, his 12 sons, to give them a blessing, he actually goes through all of the traits of the zodiacal signs individually. Dan, you can see Scorpio, because he's the one biting, the serpent biting the heels of the ones passing by. Yeah? It's astrological. Jacob has 12 sons. The Israelites are not the Negroes, as some people are suggesting. The Israelites are 12 tribes. Okay? There are 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? And they are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Those are the 12 tribes, okay? Some of those are Negro tribes, some of those are white, some of those are yellow, some of those are red, depending where they went to the earth, because wherever you go in the earth, there's different magnetic energy. Hence, the Eskimos evolved and developed due to the toroidal astrological energy that is there. It might be Taurus, it might be Scorpio energy. You have to understand the different colors in the electromagnetic spectrum of all the different 12 signs, because there are 12 chromatic colors, as there are 12 chromatic musical notes, as there are 12 everything. The dodecahedron, carbon 12, the isotope of carbon throughout the whole universe. 99% of the universe is carbon 12. The dodecahedron is the ether, which rules the other 4 polyhedra below it. And those polyhedra, they're all here. Because what you do when you put the solstice here, here's June 21st. Okay? Now, before I do that, as above, so below. This atom is the atom, yes, neutron, proton, electron. Okay, electron is where the vortex is coming in, proton is where the vortex is spiraling and rotating outwards. Walter Russell, thank you very much. So, as above, so below means if the atoms in your body are torus fields, well, so is the galaxy and so is the whole universe. Because as below, so above. It's the only pattern. There's only one pattern. It's the torus field. There are no other patterns. And some of them are double toruses and some of them are quadruple. They're called tetrapoles or quadrupoles, like a quadrupole magnet. And I believe that when I finish, that we are on a quadrupole or at least a double torus. Okay? So, man is the measure of the universe. Well, you saw that. If you want to know the universe, study your body. That's what's in my presentations. Every single one I've done, and they're all different. Every single presentation I've done, they're all different. And you will only find certain gems if you watch certain presentations. There's no repeats. I'm sorry, because I've still only released 1% of the information that I have. Okay, so man is the measure of the universe. That's the temple of Solomon. Yeah? And who built the temple of soul of man, the non-historical person who never was in history? It's talking about Saturn. You see, the builder of Solomon's temple, soul of man, was Hiram Abiff. Hiram above, Aries. The Hiram Abiff above is the cerebrospinal system, the first of the 12 systems of the body to be fully developed, along with the heart, Leo, and the circulatory system, cerebrospinal. Aries rules the whole body. The decisions come from here. It's the Lamb of God standing upon Mount Zion, which is your vertebrae. This is stuff that people will take years and years and years of learning and then will never work it out. And I've worked it out. And I'm giving it to people free and in such grand, easy way to understand it. And yet they're still wandering off the Jesuit paths, being misled, looking for literal crap where there never was.
It's a great thing you are doing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people hate it. They hate me. They hate me. They always have from the start because they don't like the truth. They don't resonate with the truth. So, but in the end...
No, the problem is they don't understand the truth, and therefore they feel a little bit stupid, and that's why they ridicule it.
Yes.
That's the problem, basically.
Oh, it breaks my heart to see people. It's good to see people turning to God. You know, it's beautiful, and we all will. But they go from the reductionist perspective first, the literal, which is very minimal in the scriptures. Very minimal part of the scriptures is literal and contains fact. There are facts in there, but it's like Shakespeare. He makes poems about factual people, Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, but he's not writing fact. He's writing transcendental encoded information to save us, to transcend us. But we're looking at Shakespeare and his plays, and you know, we're looking for the most reduced part of the scripture, which is literal. Chimneys don't prove Santa. You know, oh, but I saw a chimney. That's evidence that Santa exists. Yeah.
You're right.
September 23rd. December 21st. Please, please, please pay attention to this, guys. This is everything. This is the swastika. You can see it there, yeah?
Yeah, the Egyptians had that swastika also, but it was mirrored, I think.
Yes, it's the yin and yang. It's the cross. It's all symbols. This is the cross that we must all bear because it's in our body. We are the ecliptic. You see, in astrology, over here you have the ascendant, over here you have the descendant, and over here you have the meridian. That's Adam. How do I know that? Well, I read...
Well, Santos, what also is very interesting, when little children draw a human, they also start with a cross. Often of the time.
Yes, they do. My son used to do people like that.
Yeah, indeed.
No?
Yeah.
There's a picture of you, Dad. And I used to laugh at his stick figures. In fact, I put some of his stick figures in my albums when the artwork of my albums has my son's little stick figures. Because he used to do pictures of me.
A lot of children draw people like that, indeed.
Yes. So what we have here is the wheel. See, here is the coming one. Jesus is coming. The first coming. This is the second coming. The equinoxes. That's all it is. This is the covenant of works. Here you work and you harvest in Virgo. Here, this is the covenant of rest. God made 2 covenants with his people. It's all here. Okay? Now, this is obviously the yearly cycle. All we need to do is make it a 24-hour clock. Quite easily. 6 a.m. 12 p.m. 6 p.m. 12 a.m. Okay? So we have... So if we put the 12 signs of the zodiac in here, I'm really simplifying billions and billions of data of information so succinctly for you guys. If you have any idea how important this is the most important thing you will ever learn, ever, in any universe you will ever go to. This cross. You must be a master of this divine science. This is astrology. This is God science. Please, you'll never, ever get any more condensed and refined than this anywhere in history. Anywhere. It won't happen. This is where you will grow in leaps and bounds beyond the rest, beyond the animal thinking types of the herd mind of this world. Okay? Now, this line here is the meridian. It's called the meridian. As I said, ascendant in the east, descendant in the west. This is Adam, Adam Kadmon, because Adam is atom, and we are all atomites because we have anatomies. Okay, Adam means red. Yeah, and Adama, the earth, means red earth. Red is red shift, blue shift. Blue shift, red shift. Blue shift at Cancer, red shift where Saturn rules in Capricorn. It's the Taurus field, okay? So everything of that side of the meridian is called anti-meridian or AM, because that's the meridian. So if you were born at 6 o'clock in the morning, your sun will be somewhere here, either in this house, depending on what latitude you live, but you will have the sun either in the 1st or the 12th house. 3, 4. This is King Arthur and the Round Table, guys. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is Jacob and the 12 Israelites. This is Ishmael and his 12 children. This is the loaves of bread, the 12 loaves of bread in the tabernacle of Moses. This, Josephus says that. Josephus and Philo of Judea say the whole Bible, all of it, is astrological. All of it. And Josephus points to the loaves on the bread and everything and all the 12 and the 7 candelabra of the menorah, says that's all the 7 planets and the 12 signs. Can thou tells forth Mazaroth? Because if you can't, you're an idiot. If you don't know the zodiac, you're an idiot. Basically, that's what God is saying to Job in Job 38:32. You don't know my energy, you don't know me and how I work through nature, get away from me, you're a Satanist. And you've obviously followed the fallen angels who taught a false version of this true science. So everything after on this side, this is PM, post-meridian. Okay, PM. That's why we've got 12 PM here and 6 PM, because this is the post-meridian side and this is AM. Okay, someone who was born between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock in the morning, like Donald Trump, he's got the sun, he's a Gemini, and he's got the sun in the 10th house. Big career, man. He's got Uranus up here as well, and a couple of other planets. These people just shine in the public, because this is the public, this is the private. So someone who's born before midnight, between 10 PM, these people are private. These people love their property, their home. Yep. Security in the private, public. Someone who's born between 4 AM and 6 AM, sun in the first house. The first house identifies the character and personality of the individual, because it's the first, this is the first sign rising. So it's the rising sign. Rising, 6 AM. Ascendant is another way of calling it, the ascendant. Okay, so
is that also your ascendant to calculate your ascendant sign?
Yes. So you need to know what time you were born. For instance, I know I was born at 4:19. So here's my chart, and you can see the sun. The sun is clearly in the 7th house with a whole bunch of other planets. This is all about understanding others. This is the house of partnership and marriages. Okay. Now, so I was born at 4:19. This is the midpoint, midday, MC. Okay. So everything here is PM, and all of this is AM, and here is the ascendant. And what is it? Leo. Leo rising with Mars in Leo. Fiery heart. This is the heart. And Mars in Leo makes a very, very passionate individual. Fiery, okay, and intuitive in the heart. But that's the rising sign. See? So here's 6 AM, 12 PM, setting. See, my sun, it was late afternoon, and the sun is about to set. This is the setting point. That's why all people who have their sun in the 6th house usually have health problems, because that's the sun is set. It's weak now. It's debilitated. It's gone over the edge, over the west. Okay, so
that's very clear.
Yeah. So what time were you born?
I was born 12 May. The 12th
No. What
May.
time? AM?
I was born 11 AM.
11 AM. Okay. So you're a rock star, man. Big public. Depending on how the sun might be, the moon might be over here, and that might be a square. Depending on the aspects to your sun, if your sun is exalted, like my sun in Aries, or if you've got Leo or Sagittarius, the sun loves fire, and it's in the 10th house, should be extra better career. But if the aspects are bad, like squares are not good. Trines are good. See, a trine is 120 degrees. A square, if you've got a lot of squares, they're red lines in your chart. I should do them as red. The red squares, so if you've got a moon over here and a sun over here, you're probably going to have some trouble in the career, because that square will guarantee it. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because as Pythagoras said, this is the harmony of the spheres. And the sun, when it travels on its ecliptic, he's creating his own key signature frequency. The moon has hers, and they have different planes. And where the planes intersect, they are called nodes. And so this is why at the eclipse, everybody saw only the sun and no Rahu and no moon, because you never will. All you will see is the cancellation of their song. They are singing. And when they come together in the nodes, that's a crossing point in their two Taurus field energies. And as their Taurus fields come together, those nodes, their two bodies come together, the three bodies, because it's Rahu that causes every eclipse, or Ketu, and not the moon or anything else. It's Rahu, the north node, and K2 the south node, period, because it's a transit. And the same thing happens with Venus and Mercury. Those are transits we're looking at. Hence why you see silhouetted and not in three-dimensional things passing in front of the sun. Because what's happening is those nodes are where the two harmonies come together. And because one planet has a totally different torus field to the other one, because the sun is drawing all the planets with it in the firmament, they are all connected to the sun's torus field. And so there are nodal points. There's halfway points in their two songs coming together. And when they come together, as in the eclipse, one cancels out the other. It's just a cancellation. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah. They even showed that on a National Geographic's channel some time ago, that you can even cancel out sound with other sounds. So yeah, if you have a sound and you do another sound that's completely the opposite in waves, you cancel out one of the sounds and you hear nothing again.
Yeah, well, because what is the sun? It's a sono-luminescent being. What is the moon? Sono-luminescent being, according to Ptolemy. He said all the wandering stars, the planets, whatever you want to call them, I call them stars, he says they're all luminous, entirely luminous. Not terrestrial, luminous. That's for any globetards out there that are still going. But it's a rock, because the astronauts went up there to play golf and they brought back some rocks, and we've seen them in the museums. Yeah.
And all appear to be petrified wood, those rocks.
It was a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam. That should, or they are moon, that is not possible, or they are lying.
Yeah, so what we have is these natural systems, through science, has been co-opted by the Jesuits, and they went out throughout the whole planet with their globe lie and their globalism agenda and their Inquisition. Okay, the Inquisition is now, in 1965, they changed the name to the Holy Doctrine of the Faith. You can check this out in the third paragraph in Wikipedia. Just put the word Inquisition in Wikipedia on the net, and you'll see there all the names of the Inquisition. The Jesuits are behind it all. Yep. They took over from the Dominicans of the Spanish Inquisition, and now, of course, they've been persecuting flat earthers and truthers for 400 or 500 years, trying to destroy the true cosmology and teach that we're upside down spinning on a globe. This is globalism, okay? And now they call the Inquisition the War on Terror, but it's still the Jesuit copyrighted industry, which is terrorizing humanity for speaking the truth. Okay, so go.
Well said, Santos.
This is where we live, guys. And this is not me saying it has to be like this. It has to be like this. All is Tauruses. All is Tauruses. God is a Taurus. I've proven it. Deuteronomy 32 verse 4. It calls God a Tsur, which translates into rock, which is just a Tur. A Taurus field. That's God's name, guys. Tsur. Yes, El Shaddai, Elohim, Adonai, Jehovah, the Lord, but it's also Tsur. Okay? Very important. Deuteronomy 32 verse 4. Because God is a rock, because Taurus is a rock. These are rocks. They're golden eggs. They are rocks of creation, because that's how you make rocks, with Tauruses. You see? Yeah. These are all the animals. Tortoise. You see? They laugh at us. Oh, God put a tortoise under the flat earth, did he? Yeah, he did. He put a Taurus field. Like your torso. He put a Taurus field in your torso, and that's what you are. Yeah? And you are also atum. All is atum, because you have an atum me and a torso, proving that all is atum. There's no running away from it. That's the model. Because I've just described your body, which you can see. So if I've described your body and all as above, so below, and man is the measure of the universe, I can describe the universe, and always have in my presentations. This is it. It's the ecliptic. Up to the Tropic of Cancer, down, does a little figure 8 in here, crosses over, and then it goes to the bottom of the Taurus field. Okay? And this is how everything works. Blue shift. I've done about 20 presentations on this design since 2017. I don't think anyone, I don't think a lot of people have even watched them, because if they would watch them, I know Chris has, because Chris got his model of the universe from the Taurus field, which I have been saying for years, especially, and since I've become a flat earther. That's the model we live in. It's astrological. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to read from Ptolemy and show you that we live here. We live on this dielectric. This is the plane of inertia. Plane of inertia, which is the planet of Eartha. Okay, Eartha. And it's terra firma. Terra firma. Terra is Torah, Taurus, because this is the Taurus, the Tauri. The tree is a Tauri made by Thor, who is that's Thor, that's Jesus, because Jesus is Jupiter Zeus. Yeah, Jupiter Roman, Zeus Greek, and Nordic or Teutonic, Germanic, Thor. It's the Taurus field. That's why Arthur has 12 knights around his table, because energy is a 12ness. Simple. There's your planet of an Earther that we live on. We live on this plane. And then, where else do we live? Well, Ptolemy says the first position is the Earth. Okay? Not the sun. It's geocentric. Ptolemy. Geocentric, guys. Everyone, all of humanity, by work of the Jesuits, the evil Jesuits, they have turned their backs on our true cosmology. This is biblical. I'm going to prove it. This is the Bible model, and it's the astrological model, and it's the model we live in. Astrology dictates it. Astrology has the answers for everything. I'm going to be making videos from now on. I'm going to be busting how astrology knows everything, and astrology has all the answers. And no other field of knowledge can answer things like astrology. For instance, why you never see the moon for 15 degrees either side of the sun. You'll see the moon waning at the 16th degree when she's conjunct the sun. Then at the 15th, poof, invisible for 2.5 days. And then you see her at the new moon, crescent again, bang, she's at the 16th degree. You can sight her in the skies. Well, astrology tells you that. It says anything within 15 degrees of the sun is under the beams of the sun, under the rays of the sun, cannot be seen. Okay? It's combust. It's being burnt up by the sun. Therefore, you'll never, ever see the moon and the sun together, ever, because the sun is too powerful for the moon's light. Not the moon rock. Yeah? All these astrologers out there, they think they're astrologers with their moon rocks and their bacon breath. You can't be eating bacon and being an astrologer at the same time. Astrologers were vegetarians, guys. Here we go, Porphyry. Porphyry. Two most famous astrologers, my favorites. This one because he was vegetarian, geocentric, as Ptolemy, but Neoplatonic, okay? That's why I respected them. But these are the two most famous astrologers. We still have the Porphyry house system today. See that house system I showed you? Yeah? Porphyry has a house system. And it's one of the most famous. This guy, see? Abstinence from animal food. It is disgusting, disgusting for an astrologer to be eating dead carcasses and having bacon breath when doing chart readings. These are demons. The Bible condemns astrologers. It does not condemn astrology. Never has, never will. I've put offers up to people. I'll give you $1,000. Show me one scripture where astrology is condemned. Okay. So,
It needs the
what
pure
does,
to be understood.
so what does Ptolemy say? Well, let's read the Ptolemaic true cosmology. This is where we live. This is the true cosmology, guys. It's in this torus and on this inertial stationary plane. It's easy to prove the Earth is stationary. It's a no-brainer. It doesn't move. If there are seismic machines that can detect 1/10 of a millimeter of movement of the Earth doesn't move. Simple. Okay, unless you've been seduced by the pedophile Jesuits, that is, which most people are. Okay, here's the world. The world is divided into two parts, the elemental region and the ethereal. The elemental region is constantly subject to alteration and comprises of the four elements, earth, water, air, and fire. The ethereal region, which philosophies call the fifth essence, encompasses by its concavity the elemental. Its substance remains always unvaried and consists of 10 spheres, of which the latter one always spherically environs the smaller one, and so on in consecutive order. First, therefore, around the sphere of fire, that's the earth, God, the creator of the world, placed the sphere of the moon, then that of Mercury, then that of Sun, then that of, Venus, then that of Sun, then Mars, then Jupiter, then Saturn. Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, afterwards Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Each of these spheres, it's not talking about balls, spheres of influence, spheres, concentric spheres, okay? However, contains but one star, and these stars, in passing through the zodiac, always struggle against the prima mobile, or the motion of the 10th sphere. They are also entirely luminous. So he says there's only one star in these seven, this octave of planets above our heads, Sun being in the middle. He says, and they are entirely luminous, sonoluminescent. In the next place follows the firmament. Oh, that's nice. That's Genesis chapter 1, the second day of creation, where God created the firmament. Lovely. What's the firmament? Well, it's the ecliptic. It's the zodiac. It's the firmament. It's the stars, the sun, the moon, and these are actually in the firmament. These seven spheres, they actually are part of the firmament, because that's what Genesis, the fourth day of creation, where God says, and he placed the sun, the moon, and the stars and the planets in the firmament. Firmament. Uranus is the planet there. Now, he's actually saying, this is Uranus, man. Uranus means heaven in Greek, because the firmament is the heaven, okay? Now, he says, the next place follows the firmament, which is the eighth or starry sphere. That's where the stars are, and which trembles or vibrates in two small circles at the beginning of Aries and Libra, as placed in the ninth sphere. This motion is called by astronomers the motion of the axis and recess of the fixed stars, probably in order to account for the precession of the equinoxes. Well, I can explain the precession of the equinoxes. It's easy. This is surrounded by the ninth sphere, called the crystalline or watery heaven, because no star is discovered in it. Well, so we've got the stars of the firmament. Firm, terra firma. Uranus is the husband of Gaia. Remember in the Greek legend? Firmament Uranus is the husband, the heaven is the husband of Earth. Gaia, terra firma. Pay attention, folks. Uranus is the husband of Gaia. Uranus is the firmament, the heavens, and he's the spiritual father, our Father who art in heaven, yes? And our mother who art below. They are husband and wife. Nut. Have you seen Nut and Geb of the Egyptians? The star goddess, the firmament? It's exactly the same. It's a Taurus field.
Yeah, that's why they always say Mother Earth.
Yes. The crystalline sea, Ptolemy says there's no star found in it. Well, there is. He says there's no one star in the firmament. It's Uranus. Here is Neptune. Neptune is Poseidon. Who is Poseidon? The god of water. That's the waters above. It's above the firmament. This is the model we live in, guys. The waters are what they probably call the Kuiper belt or the Van Allen belt, or who knows what else probably the firmament is what they call the Van Allen belt, and the 10th sphere is what is the dome. The primum mobile. This is 10, and it's got Pluto in it, and this would be probably the Kuiper belt. This is 9, the 9th heaven, watery, motherly. We all want to go to 9th heaven. Why? Because this is like a uterus. This is like the amniotic waters of the mother's womb. And see, this is a womb. Okay, it's a tomb. So we come from a womb, we go to the tomb. Plato said we come from the soma, we go to the sema. Womb and tomb wordplay is in every language. This is a womb, this is a tomb. This is the motherly Neptunian. She's very much like Venus, Neptune, the crystalline sea. When we get energy from here, from Neptune in our chart, it's very feminine energy. Neptune is very feminine. Here is Uranus. This is Saturn. Next is Jupiter. Then Mars. Then the Sun. Then Venus. Then Mercury with his little hat. And then Luna. And that is how we ascend. This womb produces people that come through the moon. The moon is the womb, the ovaries. The moon attracts souls into the plane of inertia. The moon at the Tropic of Cancer, because the moon rules Cancer. And Cancer is always, if you make this the thingy, the zodiac, Cancer is always there. Cancer at the Tropic of Cancer. Capricorn is always opposite here. Capricorn at the Tropic of Capricorn. So what we've got is Saturn rules the Tropic of Capricorn. The moon rules the Tropic of Cancer. Saturn is the Grim Reaper. With his scythe and sickle, he comes a knocking on your door, the Grim Reaper, and he says, you're going back home. And there's no escaping it. When Saturn knocks on your door, the Grim Reaper, you're leaving at the Tropic of Capricorn. This is a vortex. This is a lemniscate, an analemma, the Mobius strip. This is how energy continues to travel. It comes out of 0 point, goes round like this, and then it comes in and it does a figure eight on the inertial plane and then goes out the other side again. And nothing can stop it because it's omniscient and it's omnipotent. It's omnipresent. Everywhere is magnetism. It's incoherent magnetism. When you have a magnet, see, people say to me, oh yeah, but how can it all be magnetic? You should all be just thinking, no, because it's incoherent. Like the sun's light is incoherent. It's white light. A laser light is coherent. So you've got red laser, and blue. Blue is higher capacitance, okay? And red is low capacitance. Well, that is coherent. See, God didn't make magnetism, the world, out of coherent magnetism, because then it wouldn't work. It has to be incoherent. So all the little gyroscopes, because this is what an atom is. It's a little gyroscope, little atom. And this is the electron they call electron going around, making a cloud, but it's just gyroscopes. And if they're all lined up like this, like good little crosses, that's coherent field. That's multiplicative, not additive, multiplicative. Like all the Roman fascia, yeah? You put 3 sticks together, easy to break. Try 10. It's multiplicative. So every stick you add to the bundle, the fascia becomes harder to break. Well, that's what's going on. Magnetism is incoherent. It's all over the place. But it is magnetism, and it's everywhere. And this is how magnetism expresses itself. There's only one way. There's only one story to tell. And all the Gospels and all of the Old Testament, of course, including the New Testament, they're one and the same. You see, Joshua gets betrayed by his brother Judah, 20 pieces of silver. Jesus gets betrayed by Judas with 30 pieces of silver. Joshua got betrayed by 20 pieces of gold and sold him down to Egypt. Jesus also went to Egypt. They're all archetypes. They're not historical. Yeah? There's nothing historical in the Bible. They're archetypes. That's what the Romans did, like the Jesuits with the globe. The Romans made Jesus' story, and Jesus is within, the Christ, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Because I've heard this same person that is talking about the literal Bible that is discovered, which is non-existent. He's talking about how Jesus is evil and the New Testament and the Old Testament is good. They're one and the same. There's no difference. I can prove that. I've done it. This is how ignorant some people are. They're so freaking ignorant. And they run away from true knowledge. This is how you put everything together. There's no other way. This is the temple of Solomon. Solo, who is Solomon? Any idea, guys? I'll tell you who Solomon is. There you go. Solomon. That's Solomon. Okay? Sol.
Oh, the sun and the moon.
Oh, the sun and the moon. All by himself. Moon.
Oh, that's so
All by
tight.
himself.
Sun and moon.
Yeah. That's why he's explaining it at the sun and moon group.
Yeah.
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 So when you get solo mono together, built by Hiram Abith, the Hiram above, Aries. See, here it is, guys. See the cornerstone, the chief cornerstone?
Yep.
In astrology, it says HTW SST HS. What does that mean? Okay. Hiram Tyrion, widow's son, send forth to King Solomon. Well, Hiram, widow's son. Well, the Hiram, Abith, above, Aries, is a widow's son. Okay, because he's firstborn. But he has no mama. Okay? Hiram, Tyrion, you know what Tyre used to produce? The city of Tyre before Alexander the Great destroyed it, and Nebuchadnezzar the Great destroyed Tyre, the Phoenician maritime city that went to Venice. The Venetians, who are the maritime masters of the world still today. Well, when Tyre was destroyed, they were making purple. Yeah? So Hiram, Tyrion, means the Hiram, the crown chakra, is purple, violet. So the Hiram is the ram is always decked in purple. Yeah? The Lamb of God, decked in purple. Well, Hiram, Tyrion, is the Hiram with the Tyrion, the violet chakra, widow's son, send forth to King Solomon, because he sends forth through the body. He sends the cerebrospinal fluids to make the corpuscles, to make the body. My knees, my toes, my nose, my hands, they all come from my brain, from the cerebrospinal fluids of Hiram Abith. Just give me a tick, guys.
Yeah. Great presentation.
Woo!
Very nice.
Yeah.
Also,
Maybe we should come back. Might shock people now because me and Ceres are sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
I've come to visit Ceres in Holland, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Aha.
you know why it's called the Netherlands, Karen?
What's that?
Nether is lower ground, because the most part of the Netherlands is below sea level. That's why they call it netter, and netter is low, and that's why they call it Netherlands. It's low land, basically.
Right, I get that.
Lowlands.
Did you work out those differences, by the way, while we're waiting for Santos to come back? Did it work out like you thought it did?
That's because neder in Dutch, neder is laag, low. Neder is translated in English, it's low. So it should be called, if you translate it correctly, if you translate Netherlands correctly in English, it should say lowland. Because netter is just, they speak it out a little bit differently, but basically netter is neder in Dutch, and neder is laag, and laag is low. So it should be called lowlands.
The lower lands.
The lower lands.
Lower lands.
Yeah. Because most of the Netherlands is below sea level.
Yeah, as far as I can see, at least 2/3 of it.
Yeah. Only a small strip on the east side of the Netherlands is below above sea level.
Yeah.
Artist, did you look up the miles then between the airports?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you come up with?
It's 305 miles between the airports. Roughly, or so it's give or take a mile.
Okay, well, Santos is back with another time.
305 miles. I already calculated it into 522 miles per hour for a prop plane. 522.
Oh, just
500.
Yeah.
From where?
Yeah.
From where? From London to Holland?
Yeah, but it's Holland. It's all the way to the east side of Holland, because we also have an airport almost to the east side of Holland. So that's a longer distance.
Can I just explain to the chat room that I came over to see series today, and they told me that the plane flight would be 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I did think it was really quick. But anyway, you know, we landed, and then they said we made up half an hour, 35 minutes, which meant they made up half the journey. So it took like 35, 40 minutes to get to Holland from England.
That's very fast.
And the miles that the plane had to be going 500 and something miles an hour, but I was on a propeller plane, and they don't go that fast. So that's crazy. Crazy?
Maybe the new ones.
I was in a normal jet plane. I was in a normal jet plane when I visited England some time ago, and it took 1 hour. And when I went back, it was basically also 1 hour. So half the time is it's almost undoable if you do it in half the time. That's ridiculously fast.
We'll talk about that a bit later on another time, because Santos is back now.
Yeah, Santos is back. You can go ahead again, Santos.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Santos.
You'll see this in many words, guys. Harpocrates, the sun, Harpocrates, according to the Egyptians, and the moon, harmony. Horus, hormones. When your hormones are in harmony, then you are singing in harmony with Solomon. The soul, solo in the sky, and the moon, mono, Greek word, Latin word, in the sky. Harm. The sun can cause harm. Okay? And you'll notice Mars is in there. M-A-R. Mars is fire. Harm. Mars is also the chief of armies. Armies is an anagram for Mary. Mary is the water that is in your body, that is in the ecliptic, the crystalline sea, all the planets, all the plants. Because these planets are making the sounds in the torus fields that are creating everything. It's sound. So let me go back. That got a bit sloppy. So I want to make a new one because we're going to drive this home. I've trained thousands of people around the planet how to do this. There are thousands of people in Portuguese. I've done presentations in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. I haven't done one in French yet because, well, I haven't had the opportunity, but done tens and tens of them in those languages, and they're all learning this. And the most pleasure and joy that anyone has ever gotten is knowing how to do this. Plane of inertia, equator, Tropic of Cancer, which is the tropic of all waves. All waves go out centrifugally, divergent to wave amplitude. So this is, you've got wave amplitude, which is 23.5 degrees. That's accounts for the tilt. There is no tilt because there's no ball. And this is the wave length. So it's just a frequency, isn't it? Yeah. Energy, vibration, and frequency. But see, this is also very clever because it's telling you the dielectric inertial plane. That's what they call a neutron. And this here, Tropic of Capricorn, this here is what you call a proton because it's divergent, centrifugal. And it reaches its wave amplitude, reaches its wave length, and then it must become centripetal and convergent. And that's what you call an electron. So you've got a neutron, a proton, and an electron. Well, that's like a bra, abra, abracadabra. The proton is the broton, it's Ra, it's Rudder, Queen Rudder of the heavens, or Mary Magdalene, it's magnetism. The neutron, this will be, I'm going to put L, the electron, I'm going to put Israel here, and we're going to identify the Trinity of God is the same as the Trinity of the three field modalities of energy. Dielectricity, magnetism, and their child, electricity, in that order. Dielectricity is black light, cold. Electricity is magnetic light, warm, white. And electricity is red and blue, redshift, blue shift. Redshift, blue shift comes from the two interacting modes of the two original fields, dielectricity and magnetism, rest and motion. So what we've got is Krishna.
Red and blue is also purple put together.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hiram Abiff, Hiram Tyrion, widow's son, sendeth forth to King Solomon. King Solomon is you, soul of man.
Yep.
Okay. So neutron, proton, see the Ra in pro and electron. One is radiating, because the 18th letter of the alphabet, Rho, is a rhotic. The Greeks call it a liquid sound. L and R are pronounced in the same place on the palate of your mouth. L and R. Right and left, R and L. 12 and 18. 12th letter L, 18th letter R, right and left. 18 is a half of 36, 360 degrees. Half of that is 18, the letter R, Ra. Okay? Ra. 9 is half of that. 9 is the letter I, Jesus. That's why Jesus is always Inri. Inri. I, the number 9, the number 18, 666, which is all to do with circles. The sun is the master of these numbers. The sun is always I, the letter I. It's the heart chakra, I, of the 7 vowels. We have 7 vowels, not 5. And I is the sun. So what we have here is we have Ra, El, Krishna, Radha, and Balaram, the Holy Trinity. And that is dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. And so when we start completing our nice little wheel, and we know what we're dealing with, all these atum and torus fields, and then we put our information in there correctly, as prescribed in the Bible, 12s. Everything is in 12s. 12 trees with healing in their leaves on the riverbanks in the garden of paradise. 12 pillars in the temple of my God. 12 precious stones in the ephod of the high priest Melchizedek. It's all 12, because these are the precious stones. Remember, it's a rock. God is a rock. He is a Tzur, Athor, the author of creation, the creator of creation, the actor that we are. It's all torus fields, guys. And tor backwards is to rotate. And what does this do? Well, it's rotating. It's a processional, reciprocating, processional, hyperboloid torus. Thank you, Ken Wheeler. Reciprocating, processional, hyperboloid torus. Well, here's the hyperboloid, the hyperbole, the tree, the tori in the center, which is an arbole in Latin. Arbole, arbole, un arbole, arbolo. That is a tree in Italian, okay? Bol. This is the tree, this is the tor. So we have a bull and a torus, creating turbulence.
But what's funny is that arbol is almost aardbol in Dutch. We call earth the aardbol in Dutch. So that's also very close.
The aardbol is earth ball.
The earth ball in
aardbol.
Yeah, the earth translated in Dutch is aarde. So that's very close. Also,
yeah, I'll show you later my PowerPoint presentation once I finish with the whiteboard.
That's also very, very interesting. A lot of Dutch words and also German words almost are the same in your presentation. So those words are just a little bit different, but basically they sound the same in almost all languages. But that's also very interesting.
Okay, at this point I'm going to share my screen. I still haven't finished reading from Ptolemy, but that's the way I do things. I always digress for good reasons, okay? I try to look after the little sheep that need to learn these things. I'm very motherly in my energy that I want people to learn properly, carefully. Don't be misled by the Jesuits.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll notice that in me, I'm very fervent in my zeal for the truth because I have the truth. Okay. Now, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's have a look at what bol means in Dutch. Hyperbole. See the hourglass in the middle? That's the hyperboloid, the inverse of a sphere. This is the inverse of a sphere, and it creates a bol, B-O-L, bulb, B-U-L. What else do we have? Blow. It's blowing. It's boiling. It's a dumbbell. It's a belt. Bell. Ding dong bell. Yeah, it's all the same shit. It's all the same stuff, guys. Bulb. Can you see that orgasm torus field coming out of that bulb?
Yeah.
Yeah, see that purple Hiram Abiff? Tyrium? This is the ram. This is the crown chakra. It's always purple. See how it's exploding. It's a torus field. Beelzebub. Look at Beelzebub. Beel. Bull. It's the hyperboloid, guys. There it is. Look what a little torus field can do. Bulk. Tubular bells. Tumble. Tum and bull. Taurus and bull. See, the rotating torus field. Torah is rotate. Taurus. When you talk, what are you doing when you're talking? Well, you're making torus fields. You're telling a story. You are an orator, an actor, creator, author, tutor, motor, rotor, astor, storm, history, plethora, theory, thorough, agitator, ancestor. Our ancestors, what were they? Well, they were Tauruses, because it tells you, ancestors. Attorneys turning you over to the devil. Store, these are storehouses. Mentor, contractor, creditor. Try. What does it mean to try? It means to Torai, to create a Taurus. Curator, doctor, grantor, inventor. Yeah. Janitor, restore, torture, victor, capacitor. I haven't even started. I've probably only spent 5 minutes making this list. There's billions. Mm-hmm. Here he is. Thorn. He has a thorn, a crown of thorns. Well, he has 12 disciples as well. But wait a minute. Arthur has 12 knights. He is the true Thor with the crown of thorns. He also has thorns and authority because he is the author. Yeah? And here's the Bible, Deuteronomy 32:4. There you go. He is the rock. Tsur. His work is perfect. Of course, all Tauruses are perfect. He is a rock, stable in his nature, invincible in power, fixed and immutable. Here we go. What does Tsur mean in Italian? It means blue. What's the color of Krishna? Blue. Because it's blue shift. Azzurro. You know, when the Italian soccer team plays, they got blue shirts on. They're called, the international team's called the Azzurri. Well, that's Tsur, blue. Okay? This is Assur, the king of the Persians. Lazarus, that's Lazua. It's blue shift. It's all blue, man. Blue and red. Adam means red. The Tsar of Russia. Well, he's a Taurus. Mars, his name in Teutonic. Tyr, Tor. Mars is Taurus. There you go. Jupiter, Zeus, Thor, and his cows. Why is the god always, you know, killing cows? Mithra, Torah. Mithra is just an anagram for Taurus. Look at it. To thrust, Tor. To thorust. Torso, Taurus. Vortex, Vort, Tor. Stavros in Greek means cross. Well, that's interesting. That's just saying Steve, Eve, Stavros, Taurus. Here I have a list of Taurus bull words, and then I've got bull Taurus words. Let's have a look at these. So Taurus bull. So this is the Taurus, and this is the bull. You got turbulence, table, stable, turbine, travel. That's treble. Tremble. These are trembling. They're vibrating, guys. They are terrible. They are double trouble. D and T are interchangeable. So double, that's tor bull. Trouble. Bubble means two bulls. And that's what you see. One bull here, one bull there. It's a bubble. A double bubble. To babble. But when you talk, Taurus, you are babbling. Bible. To papal trusts. The Bible. A bull is a trust. Okay, when the Pope decrees a papal bull, he's talking a bull. That's why the hyperboloid is related to hyperboloid. When you speak in hyperboloid, what does it mean? Oh, that was a hyperbole. I told you 1,000 times not to blah, blah, blah. Well, it wasn't 1,000 times. You only said it 3 times, but you exaggerated. You are using a hyperboloid. Hyperbole. Bottom. Okay, backwards now, back to front. We've got bull Taurus words. Okay.
Is that also why some people call if you talk nonsense, they call it bull each?
Yeah, someone who's speaking bull is speaking because the bull is the sound. It's the bell. It's making a sound. Bell. Okay. Yeah. It's the glockenspiel.
Yeah. It makes sense indeed.
Butter, better. It's making the world better. It's battering the butter. It makes bitter things. It's the potter of Memphis creating the world. Potter is just another way of saying bull Taurus. Buttress. Well, that's right in your face. No brainer. But, bull, B-U, Taurus. Buttresses for cathedrals. They act as bulls and Tauruses to hold the cathedral in place. Betray. These are betrayers. Bottle. What is it? Well, it's a Taurus. Battle. Battu in French. To beat. Beaten. You see, bull means blue. It's an anagram. Bull is blue, Taurus is red. Tor is rot, Rotterdam, red. Tor backwards, rot, to turn. Rose is red, rust is red, Russia is red, rosso in Italian is red. So you see, Ross is red. Tor backwards, rot is red. It's all red. It's red and blue. Red shift, blue shift. There it is in French, bleu. Blue in Italian, blue in, and you notice this has the letter R and this has the letter L, right and left, red and blue. Okay, hyperboloid. A symmetrical open curve formed by the intersection of a circular cone with a plane at a smaller angle with its axis than the side of the cone. Mathematics, the pair of hyperbolas formed by the intersection of a plane with two equal cones on opposite sides of the same vertex. Origin, mid-17th century, modern Latin, from Greek, hyperbole, which means excess, from hyper, above, hyper, yeah, and balein, to throw. You see, that's why when you say, when you're speaking hyperbole, you are throwing out bullshit. Yeah? Bull. This is the bull. Norse, boar, tree, tori, torunk, tree, torunk. From Proto-Germanic bulas. Okay, here we go. The source of the Middle Dutch bolle, trunk of a tree. From bell. Starting to get it, guys?
Mm-hmm.
To blow, to inflate. There it is, bull. Okay? Filon, leaf. Phallos, that's ballos. Swollen penis. Phallic, there you go. Phallic, phallus. Floss, flower. Blossom, flourish. This is all bull words, guys. English bowler, pat, cup, bowl. There you go. The Old English, guys. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Irish, bowl game, to swell. Blat, blossom, flower. Bollack, pimple. Bag. Okay, next word. Obvious hyperbole, obvious exaggeration in rhetoric. From Latin, hyperbole, from Greek, hyperbole, exaggeration, extravagance. Literally, a throwing beyond, a thrusting, beyond, throwing, casting, stroke a missile, bolt, beam, from bowl, nominative of baleine, to throw, ballistics, ballistic missiles, they are thrusting, okay, hyperbolically. To throw, see the word is the logos, astrologos. The word is the world, rotating, magnetic, Taurus bulls, turbulence. It's magnetism, guys. Here is the Tauri, yeah? A trio. Why is it a trio? Because you've got the trinities, dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. That's why trio, three means Taurus. There you go. There's your clitoris. Does that look like a Taurus there, guys? Pay attention. Here we've got a uterus creating a torus field, which we call a aura. Tora, from the torso, from the torus uterus. Everything is Tauruses, guys. Okay, so you've got mag means to move. Okay, rot means to rotate. Here, so you've got all these Tor words. Tor, door, open the door. Now, why do you open the doorus? Okay? To dare. Well, only a Dorus field dares. They are firm and dura. They adore. They are adorable. They are dorado, made of gold. Yes, dorado, because they are Tauruses, golden Tauruses. And the word for road in Japanese is dori. Well, that's Taurus field, because they are the road makers. Rate. Yeah, rate. That's rotate. Tear. Red, rod, radiate, rudder, to do, to do. That's D-O-T. That's okay. Torsion. Tetra, 4 and 3. They both 4 and 3 both are rooted in Taurus. Trio and tetra. Okay. Terror. Terrific. Trust. Why do you trust someone? Right. Well, did we have fun there?
Yeah. Great.
Okay, because I'm going to give you so much fun, man. You will have your fill. You will be able to be laughing with laughter for months after you learn these properly. You'll be like I am. Every day I'm just blissed out that I've got syncretism down pat mastered. I'm ready to go home because I've got now the labyrinth.
Yep.
So we had the firmament here. Firm. And then we had the crystalline sea. The waters above. And the Bible speaks about the crystalline sea above the firmament. And it's very, very fond of the firmament. Werner von Braun, Psalm 19:4. Your handiwork declares, the firmament declares your handiwork, O Lord. That's the firmament. The stars are in it. That's the watery sea, the crystalline sea. And above that, we've got the primum mobile. That's the dome. Let's just finish off, will we? Reading about our true cosmology Taurus field, guys. I've proven it. And I'm sure there'll be some people that will come to this point in the presentation and it's still not enough for them. Well and good. Watch all my other presentations. Everything I've ever done seals the deal. This is where we live, guys. We live on a horizontal plane and it's stationary. Those are two things that I will die for. Stationary, horizontal, terrestrial plane. As to the shape exactly, I don't know. Because if it's a double Taurus, then you've got Taurus energy like this. And I'll show you Nassim Harriman's double Taurus in a minute. Show you how. And we've got a, my opinion is, if you've watched David Lapointe's Prima Fields documentary, Prima Fields, you'll see he's got a blue one here. And then the bottom is, of course, red. Blue shift, red shift, just as I do all my Taurus fields. So David Lapointe is absolutely harmonizing with this truth of blue shift, red shift. And on top of that, this is an apple, okay? These are the apples of Apollo. There's your apple. And every apple has a core. Core is your cardiac. A heart is just the compressed point of each vortex. It's a big vortex, big dielectric vortex going horizontally here and vertically. The body has two dielectric planes, guys. You can see my dielectric plane straight down the middle of my body. My face and no one's face is symmetrical. Why? No. Well, because the dielectric plane, because one side of your body is conforming to 1 and the other side is conforming to phi. Because these are all phi at the top and 1 at the bottom. Ratio. Phi is 1.618. Okay? Just like my finger is 1 to the ratio of 1.618. Every single knuckle there is 1 to 1.618. And then you move up the knuckle and it works again and again and again. And it's like this. This is 1. This is 1.618. This is 1. This is 1.618. The pentagram. It's all in here. Okay, so continuing on. After the crystalline sea. Lastly, the primum mobile, styled also the 10th sphere, encompasses all the before mentioned ethereal spheres and is continually turned upon the poles of the world. Poles, donk, or south, north pole, south pole, and the outer could be also called the pole. But these, I believe these are the poles, okay, that he's talking about here. continually turned upon the poles of the world by one revolution in 24 hours. So the primum mobile is turning one revolution every 24 hours. The firmament is turning against the primum mobile, guys. The firmament has a different timekeeping system to the dome. Here, the dome is 24-hour. Okay? It's clear as day. I'll read it again. Lastly, the primum mobile, styled also the 10th sphere, encompasses all the before mentioned ethereal spheres and is continually turned upon the poles of the world by one revolution in 24 hours, from the east through the meridian to the west, again coming round to the east. At the same time, it rolls all the inferior spheres round with it by its own force. There is no star in it. Well, there is. It's Pluto. Against this primum mobile, the motion of the other spheres running from west through the meridian to the east contends. Whatever is beyond this is fixed and immovable. And the professors of our orthodox faith affirm it to be the empyrean heaven, which God inhabits with the elect. So what he's saying is, whatever is beyond this dome, this 10th sphere, he says, is absolutely not space, but it is fixed and immovable. Okay? Fixed and immovable. And it's called the empyrean. Empyrean. That's the 11th sphere, I guess you could call it, but there's no such thing. Empire. This is the word of empire, guys. Okay, empyrean. Empyrean. See that PYR? Pyramid. Pure. Purge. Purgatory. This is the pure place. Can you see that? Yep, you can.
There it is.
Okay. And that's where we will return, to the empyrean, when we escape the primum mobile. This is an egg. It's an egg to the ratio of 5 to 1. It's a golden egg. Dorado. It's a Doris field. There's plenty of evidence, guys. There's all you need is you must start your science with the ecliptic of the sun. The sun is the great teacher. He is the Christ. He is Moses. He's Krishna. He's Radharani. He's all archetypes. Okay? So you've just had the biggest and the best, condensest initiation into the holy science that anyone has ever had, because the way I'm doing it now is very, very succinct and concise and very, very powerful. I'm doing presentations in Spanish, Portuguese and Italian, and they're all loving it all around the earth, everywhere. The Portuguese are screaming for... Last time I did a presentation was about 6 years ago. I haven't done anything in 6 years, but now they're on board because of my article that I wrote about Rahu and showing how Rahu is the cause of all eclipses. It is the cause, and Ketu, of all eclipses bar none. And what I want to show you is one of the most famous eclipses of all time, which happened in 1962. So that was a solar eclipse, and Ketu was responsible for that. So what I'm going to do is share my screen with you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's reduce that. And let's go into get off. Let's go to this now, shall we? Can you see my screen, guys?
It's blurry at my end. I know, Karen, is it blurry at your end or not?
Yeah, it's a bit blurry here.
Interesting.
It was fine.
To reshare it, Santos.
Hey?
No. What are you sharing?
You have to represent it again.
Okay,
Maybe
don't
that
worry.
works.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to show you something very, very interesting, guys, and you'll see how powerful astrology is and how not to be messed with. And I will not tolerate anyone saying it's from the devil or it's a pseudoscience or anything other than true science. I will smack them down. I will run them out of town. They will be silenced. They'll be ridiculed. They will look stupid. They will look totally stupid. I will protect this sacred science, this holy science, and being, you know, probably the most accurate at teaching this science, because a lot of astrologers are clueless, got no idea, none whatsoever. All right, can you see my screen?
No,
No, it's still blurry, Santos.
Yeah, there's something with the whole image.
Yeah.
It's a blur image of still standing something and
no, it's
nothing
still
else.
blurry. Now it's
Now you're
fine.
there.
Okay,
And then try again.
how's that?
Yeah,
Yay!
great.
Okay, guys. Well, look, what I'm doing here is quite simple. I've gone into an astrological / astronomical site. It's tropical, so it's Western. Okay, this is not sidereal. This tells you the astrological placements of the planets. Okay, now I've punched in the 5th of February 1962. This was the day when all 7 planets aligned in Aquarius, something which is absolutely almost impossible. Let me read from Ptolemy. Now, just briefly, this is what he says about all the planets coming again to the same place where they left in the first place. He says, and although the former configurations of the planets have been observed to produce certain consequences, which have been adapted to configurations now taking place, and are, after long periods, and in a greater or lesser degree, resembled by subsequent configurations, yet these subsequent configurations never become exactly similar to those which have preceded them. For the entire return of all the heavenly bodies to the exact situation in which they have once stood with regard to the earth will never take place, or at least not in any period determinable by human calculation, whatever vain attempts may be made to acquire such an unattainable knowledge. Well, what he's saying here is quite simple. When planets are found to be in a beautiful, you know, configuration together, there's many of them are conjunct, they're all sort of grouped together in the sky, they come together. That particular pattern, or any pattern that you ever see with your eyes, ever in the sky, meaning the relationship between planets and the stars, you will never see a repeat of that in your lifetime. You'll never see it probably ever, because astronomers know that there's so many different arrangements. It's like snowflakes. They're all different. And there will never be a coming together in our lifetime of certain configurations of planets. Now, on that day, you can do this yourself. 5th of February, the middle of February, the 5th. It's right, it's in the middle of Aquarius. The 5th of February gives you the 15th degree of Aquarius. The 15th degree of any sign is the middle degree of the sign. So what we're going to find here, when we click on, we're going to find that the eclipse of that day was the moon and the sun were together in the 15th degree of Aquarius, in the middle. Okay, so that's how you can tell. Just add 10 degrees, 10 numerical values to 5, so you go up to 15. Add 10 to 5, and you get the degree in the sign. That's how it works. It's quite simple. Put in 5:30 and Brisbane, Australia. Okay, because as you'll see, this eclipse here started over. Oh, really? I should have put Perth. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Hang on. Let me just fix this, guys. I've given you the wrong time. I'm going to put 7:30, and I'm going to put Perth, because what you'll see here is that the eclipse. We're going to see a video about the 1962 eclipse here. Okay, and you'll see here that this is where it happened. And it started on the west coast of Australia. See here, just above Perth, and it just about hit Los Angeles, San Diego.
Yeah.
All right, can you see that? That's 1962, the beginning of Aquarius, guys. So what we do, we put 7:30 in. Reason being is it puts the moon and the sun at the same degree. So if you're showing other people, make sure you do 5th of February, 1962, 7:30, okay? And put Perth. And what you get is this. Oh, shit, oh, damn. I put PM. Alrighty, so this is what we get. Now, in the other one, I had 5:30, and all these planets, all of them in the middle of Aquarius here, you can see, they were all here rising. Now, no one saw any of these planets, I can guarantee you. Why? Because they're all within 15 degrees of the sun, under the beams. That's why all the photographers that were out watching the eclipse in 1962, on the 5th of February that morning, this is morning, you can see it's 7:30 in the morning. Here is the midday point, the meridian. So it's anti-meridian, it's AM. And you will never see, look at this, Mars and Saturn, the two malefics, virtually on the same degree, 2nd and 3rd degree of Aquarius. Here is the moon and the sun on the 15th, smack bang in the middle, conjunct Mercury retrograding, 16 degrees, Venus 17 degrees, Jupiter 18 degrees, 15, 16, 17, 18. From 2 degrees to 18, that's spanning 16 degrees. All 7 visible planets were invisible but conjunct on that day. And in Aquarius, all of them, every single... I've got a cousin who was born a year earlier than me. He's Aquarian. He was born with this configuration. I've got another friend where I was born who's got this. I've got a flat earth vegan friend up here in Queensland who has this. It was born in February of 62, and they've all got these amazing charts where they've got all of these planets. You'll never see this in a billion years again, guys. And yet, this ushered in the 50-year cusp and the convergence point of the two signs, Aquarius and Pisces. Pisces, the cusp of Pisces ending began there and ended in 2012, December 21st, 2012. And this is 50 years earlier, 1962. That's when Aquarius began and Pisces ended officially in 2012. Okay, now notice Neptune over here in Scorpio. Neptune entered Scorpio in 1956 when Elvis started shaking his pelvis. This is the generative system. Neptune is very sexual. This is the sexual hippie revolution from 54 to 1970. Neptune was in Scorpio. I was born with Neptune in the 15th degree of Scorpio. This defines the age, Neptune, this crystalline sea, this is. Pluto was in Virgo, and Uranus was in Leo, opposite Aquarius, his true home. And look at that square. Look at that square, man, and that sextile. That's all that's in the sky. One square and one, oh, well, there's actually a few squares. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these 5 planets are squaring with Neptune. So that's 5 squares and 1 sextile. What a simple sky it was, man. And yet, why there would have been thousands of photographers that all they would have seen was the sun on that day. Right? And this is what they would have seen, guys. Here is a, what do you call, animation. And notice in the middle here, I'll try and make this larger. Notice in the middle, it gives you the altitude of the sun, 70 degrees now, and the direction. All right, look at the shape of this, how it's coming from the right and then going back up. It's coming from up. Here's totality, maximum eclipse, and there goes the moon up again. Well, that's easy to explain, of course, because what it's doing, So there it's at, all right, well, what it's doing is this. See that turn here, right? That curved path of K2. By the way, that was K2. See where the sun is, 15 degrees of Aquarius? Well, look where Rahu is, 18 degrees of Leo. So K2 must be at the 18th degree, right where Jupiter is here. Here, right here is K2. K2 caused that eclipse. And when you look at those little discs that are in front of the sun on the eclipse of the 21st of March 2015, all those people in the aeroplane, and they saw all those little discs covering the sun, that was not Rahu, that was Ketu. That's the tail of the dragon. Those discs scattered all over the place there. They're not physical discs, guys. They are phenomena, you know, magnetic phenomena we can't understand, but they are nodes. Ketu is a node. And right here is Ketu at the 18th degree of Aquarius, opposite Leo, Rahu at the 18th degree of Leo. Okay, so what you're seeing here, when this animation, see the moon, let's go back to the start. It's easy to work out what's going on. There's the moon coming from on top, guys. Look at that. It's 2 o'clock here, yeah? All right? Because the sun is moving from your perspective, well, so the moon or Rahu will do this. But see, I don't believe that the moon can do so much, contorting and distortion of her straight linear ecliptic. I believe that this is the node Rahu behaving like this. It's so small, and it manages to suck up the light of the sun and cancel its light, that it just has this particular trajectory. Okay, so if you go to Wikipedia and you put "1962 eclipse," this is what I put in the other day, 1962 eclipse. Look at all the articles, guys. There's hundreds of them. This was a very famous eclipse. Never in the history of probably this universe have we had all 7 planets lined up in one sign. Manly P. Hall teaches that the ancients of Egypt said that long time ago they all lined up in Aries, all 7, all in one sign. And they said it takes 4,320,000 years for it to line up again, but it won't be in Aries. The next time will be in Sagittarius. Well, guess what? The next time came and it was not in Sagittarius, it was 2 signs over in Aquarius. And we see it with our own eyes, guys. And you can look up here anywhere. You can look up any of these articles. Here we go, Wikipedia. Total solar eclipse occurred on the February 5th, 1962. Okay, and then they give you this bullshit Copernican Jesuit demonology. The solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun. Bullshit. Ball, bail, bullshit. And here it is. They show you here. It started in Perth here and then went all the way up to Los Angeles nearly. Keep this in mind, guys. This is an Aquarian eclipse. Now, there's a lot of smart guys on this chat room, far, far smarter than me. I acknowledge that. Get on this. And if I were you and you got some spare time, I would trace all the paths of all these ecliptics, right? Trace them, point them out, and you will see where the Aquarian eclipses occur, where the Leo eclipse occurs, because that was the one that happened a couple of weeks ago in Leo, 29th degree. And then the one coming in 2024, that will be 8th of April. That's my sign, Aries. And it crosses over the Leo ecliptic. So if there's anyone out there, there's a suggestion for you. If you've got the time and the know-how, grab all the solar eclipses that have ever happened and then the lunar ones and map them out. Have some fun. All right, guys, hit me with some questions, I guess.
Can you show that eclipse again?
Huh?
The eclipse that you just showed. Can you show that again?
Yeah. The animation?
Yeah.
Do people in the chat room have any questions to ask Santos?
You want the animation? Here it goes.
Yeah.
You tell me how that happens, man. That is phenomenal. It's obviously not the moon unless the plane we're living on is much smaller than we think it is. And
can you
if the
pause
sun...
it here?
Hey?
There's a bit back and just pause it. Just a little bit more, if you can do that. Yeah, that's right. And then the screen a little bit lower, so you can see the top of it. Yeah. What is striking to me is that the top point, where it's now crossing, where the two lines above are crossing each other, that point, it almost looks like it is stuck to that point. That the moon, like a clockwork, goes sliding on. It almost is if it's locked on that point, and then comes across like a swing. Or is it just me?
Well, for a start, obviously this is lower. These 2 points are much lower than the. I believe this thing that's going in front of the sun is slightly smaller than the sun, or very much smaller than the sun. So when we get to here, the total eclipse. Oh no, we've got to go forward. So. Okay, there's totality there.
Yeah.
You can see it's smaller.
Line. Yeah, indeed.
It's smaller. But you know, the goal of the globe is to laugh at flat earthers who are suggesting exactly what their eyes tell them, that the moon and the sun are the same size or close enough. Whereas they want to tell you that with all the spinning, wobbling, hurtling, thrusting, rotating, orbiting mechanisms of the solar system, that the sun being 400 times bigger but 400 times further away, they don't think that's funny at all. You know, they don't think that's strange at all, that the moon totally blocks the sun perfectly predictably with all these wobbles and upside down thrusting, and they laugh at us because we say, well, it looks the same size, and they block, well, one appears to block the other one out at the same size. It's a total eclipse, therefore they probably are the same size. You see how stupidity takes people to argue a total falsehood, obvious total nonsense, but they will argue it because their Jesuit indoctrination has forced them, and they're traumatized by stupidity. So they will defend their stupidity, even to the death. They're idiots.
Yeah, and that the cause of that is that because at schools it's taught in a wrong way. At a young age, they teach all the children the wrong shape of the Earth and the wrong distances of the planets and everything. That's why they totally fuck up your brain at school about the history and everything.
Yeah, and then you get these people who they've seen the moon they believe they've seen craters. Okay, well, it's not the moon passing in front of the sun. Period. It's something else, and it's not a body, but it does cancel the sun's light perfectly. And the craters that they saw were actually Rahu's body shape. You know, it's not. It's these nodes have been known to be damaged. Okay, in the legends, in the Buddhist legends,
the dragon Rahu was many times threatened to have his head chopped off and cast, throughout the heavens. And the Titans and the Olympians. This is the Titans, the war of the Titans against the Olympians. The 7 Olympians are the 7 planets, and the 12 Titans are the 12 signs of the zodiac. And so all of these planets have nodes with respect to each other, and some of them are moving and damaged. And this is obviously the shape of Rahu or Ketu. It's not the moon. I just need a short break, guys, so talk away.
Okay. Thank you for explaining everything, Santos. Great.
Yep. I'll just mute here because I'm just going to be preparing a nice drink, and I'll mute away so I can hear you still. And
okay.
Thank you, Santos. Wow. It's so serious.
Yeah, it was very fascinating. And also, I found that birth chart he showed. I put it in the link. So you can see your own horoscope. Maybe Karen can put it in the group chat so everybody can find that site easily here.
I will, Artis. I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Cheers, my dears.
Yeah, really quickly, I thought I will search that link so that's handy for everybody, so they don't have to search it anymore. You have to go all the way, scroll all the way below, and then you can type in your birth date and birth time and location. And it will calculate the signs in your birth.
Aaron, oh, there's 2 people asking it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a question to Santos.
Santos, you have to come back. There's questions for you. They're for you, Santos.
Well, let him take his drink first.
Yeah, he's got
it's cool, guys.
He's
I was only
drinks.
right. So now,
Several are about if you're actually knowing sort of have some people about the 23rd alignment. Remember?
No. The 23rd alignment is all a crock of BS because they are using sidereal astrology and not tropical. So in other words, they're seeing these stars in Virgo, but tropically they're not in Virgo. They've moved on. They're in Libra. So
the whole not houses, all the signs. You need to take the signs static. What you mean. Instead of turned as we see it in this position. There's another fixed position you do it from. I mean,
I don't understand what you're saying. Aren't you talking about the 23rd of September?
No, the way you want to say the difference between looking at how you look at it. What is the main difference here? Are the 12 signs are they static or are they dynamic in the sense that we see it as we see it now, or is there a certain fixed position we have to look at it?
It depends. I don't know what you're saying. Are you talking about the people who are saying that the 23rd of September is going to have some astrological meanings for us?
No, what you were saying about the difference between how you look at it. You have the 2 astrological ways to look at it. The
Sidereal and tropical?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's quite simple. The Jyotish astrologers in the East, they have a sidereal system, which is what you see with your eyes. It's sidereal means the stars. So you're actually now seeing. The moon is in Virgo, but in sidereal, you look up. The
the sun is in Virgo, right? It's the 1st of September here, so the sun is in Virgo. Okay, it's but sidereally, it's not. You can see with your own eyes, the sun is still in Leo. Okay,
Yeah.
but in the West, these are the tropical points. Our astrology is tropical. Our Western astrology is tropical. It's not sidereal. Sidereal is more like astronomy. It's like the true astronomical position. So if you look for the sun now, they'll tell you that the sun is in astronomically. They'll say it's about I don't know 10 hours right ascension in Leo. It's not in Virgo, but that's astronomically. That's what your eye sees. That's sidereal. The Hindu astrologers, they've gone with the precessional slippage. We in the West, we have not moved for thousands of years because nothing moves here. Nothing. The firmament and precession is going backwards with comparison to the tropical points. Okay, it is slipping. Yes, that's why we're in the age of Aquarius now, because of the backward precessional slippage. Okay, but tropical astrology is the natural system, which is based on the ecliptic. See, the firmament, the ecliptic, in the firmament, that's where the tropical astrological signs are. They are on the ecliptic. So in other words, this is 0 degrees right ascension of meridian. That's where everything starts. Ran, okay? Ran, right ascension of meridian. So these points here, they are all right ascension. Here is 2 hours right ascension, 4 hours, 6, 8, 10. So Leo, the sun in astronomy, the sun is about here in the middle of Leo right now. But in astrology, it's in Virgo because it's in the 10th degree of Virgo. It's the 1st of September. So it must be on the 10th degree of Virgo because the ecliptic never moves. The ecliptic never moves. Like morning, midday, and sunset, that never moves. It's always pretty much around 6 a.m., 12 and 6 p.m. So the same with spring. Spring always starts on the 21st of March. It's the equinox. Never moves. Can't move. 21st of March, bang, spring. 21st of June, Cancer, bang, summer. 21st of September, autumn. Autumn. All is autumn. You see? The sun falls down to the tomb. Autumn, autumn. And then the 21st of December, the solstice is called St. Thomas's Day. Interesting. Thomas, St. Thomas's Day, or tomb. Cancer in the Jewish system is called Tammuz. Tammuz is Thomas. 21st of December in the liturgical year is nicknamed, it has its name, St. Thomas's Day. What about the festival of St. Thomas on the 3rd of June over here? That's the 21st of June. Sorry, 3rd of July. 3rd of July, the festival of St. Thomas in the month of Cancer, Tammuz, according to the Jews, opposite St. Thomas Day, Sagittarius, kills the sun. St. Thomas is the tomb of Autumn. And when the sun goes down, he gets crucified on the solstice, and 3 days later, it's Solis Invictus Deus Nati Day, the day of the invincible sun, Christmas. Capricorn is a Capricorn with a Virgo rising, and he's going up to Jerusalem. The goat, the capricious goat, Capri, goes up to the crabby crab. And the crabby crab is crabby because he's got to go down again and wane. But the goat, he climbs the mountain, Capricorn. He's a mountain climber. Yeah. It's all science. It's embedded in everything. It's everything. Wave amplitude gives crabby Cancerians and capricious Capricorns. Wave amplitude. Earth, cardinal water.
See? Cardinal fire, cardinal air. Aries and Libra. Ptolemy says this about these cardinal signs. Here we go.
May I say something?
Oh,
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, Santos, I agree with you. 1,000 and 1,000,000%, because from my perspective child, the moon doesn't have dark side, so it can't come before the sun, because he have only one side, so he can't do this.
Spot on.
Did
Spot on,
I,
sister. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I explain myself good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why you can't see the other side of the moon, and you notice you can't see the moon. Absolutely does look in between two-dimensional and three-dimensional. There's no doubt about it. I mean, even those nodes, when you see them, Venus going past the sun, you can see clearly that's just like it's just a disk. It's just a light. It's some phenomena. It's a nodal point. It's a crossing of two waves going out of phase, and then they're coming into out of phase and then back going into phase, like so. Instead of being so perfectly in phase, they are actually like pretty much like this. And so these are little points where they cancel out. You know, I mean, that's pretty rough what I just did there, but yes, so pretty obvious that the moon is, you know, a disk.
Yeah.
Here we go again. This is told me. The equinoctial signs further indicate the circumstances liable to happen in ecclesiastical concerns. Okay, so he just said this. This is how you understand astrology. The equinoctial signs, Aries, the Lamb of God, hence the judge wears the wolves, a judge who is a wolf in sheep's covering, he will wear his lamb's wool because Aries is the judge. Krios in Greek. Krios. Krios is the judge, to criticize, to critique. The ram, right ascension of meridian, 0 degrees. So he is the judge with his wool, he's criticizing, he's critiquing. Krios, the lamb. And opposite, outside the courtroom, you'll see Venus, the ruler of Libra, with blindfolded with the scales of Libra, judging, because this is the balance point. Libra is always here balancing the two halves of the scale. Hence, Ptolemy says that this axis here is ecclesiastical. Pay attention. Remember what I said about the tropical signs, Cancer and Capricorn? So the equinoctial signs further indicate the circumstances liable to happen in ecclesiastical concerns and in religious matters. The Lamb of God. The tropical signs give warning of change in the atmosphere and in political affairs, because this is the priest axis, balance, and this is the king's axis, unbalance. The king is unbalanced. The priest is balanced. He practices holy things. The king practices secular things. One is sacred, one is secular. Okay? The fixed signs of changes in institutions and in buildings. And the bicorporeal signs, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. Bicorporeal means two. Two twins, two fish, two natures, horse and man. And Virgo is, it's like a hermaphrodite, two natures in one. And the bicorporeal signs show that the future event will fall alike on princes and their subjects. So we are affected when a certain configuration happens here in the world, something ecclesiastical is going to happen, something religious. There'll be a transformation religiously. Now, Uranus is currently in Aries and squaring with Pluto in Capricorn. This square between Uranus and Pluto, remember this is political, this axis. This is the political axis. This is the religious axis. And the square from Pluto, the transformer, destroyer, to Uranus in the ecclesiastical axis, religious, the revolutionary, the unconventional. So there is a revolution in religion now happening. And this square has been here for about 7 years. Okay? This is probably about the 9th one of these, because they keep retrograding and there's retrogrades happening. Yeah.
Almost, almost the end of the 7th day. 7 years? I don't know.
Yes, it's 7. It's more than 7 years, but yeah, there's been about 7 of these, and currently we're in the 8th one. But the point is, Capricorn, the 10th sign, 10 equals 1, and Aries, the first sign, 1, 2, Taurus, 3, Gemini, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The sheep and the goats. See, the sheep, when Jesus comes in his kingdom, he says, I will judge man. The sheep on the right and the goats to the left. These ones will go off to everlasting perdition because they're left-brainers, logical. The sheep on the right, who have used their intuition and direct connect to God through the right hemisphere, they are the priestly class. You see, the goats on the left, they're kingly. They got distracted. The sheep and the goats. The goat rules the meridian, the solstices, and the sheep rules the equinox. This is the wheel. There's only one wheel. This is the rotor, the Torah. Yeah? And that's for these people who think they know the Torah. That's the Torah, guys. Okay? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equals 78. That's how many tarot cards there are. 21 in the trump cards are 21. The major arcana is 22, but the trump is 21. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals 21. 21, the trump cards of the Torah, rota, rotating, and 78. Now, 79 is the number for gold. And Aries is the gold of the sun, the golden fleece of the ram. Jason, Jehovah's son, like Samson, the small son, they are always running around with their Jason's 12 journeys, yeah? He's looking for the golden fleece, isn't he? While the sun exalts in Aries. Why? Well, because that's the Lamb of God. That's where the Hebrews, after coming through the Red Sea, redshift, they cross over into the Passover and celebrate the Passover lamb. At Easter, Nisan 14, smack bang in the middle of Aries, the golden Lamb of God, every year. And the Christians, they celebrate the resurrection. Resurrection and exaltation are the same word. In astrology, the sun exalts in Aries, gold, AU, gold, 79. 78 is the number of 12 added, additive. Exalt and resurrect, resurrect. That's the same word. The Christians celebrate Easter, where the Jews celebrate the Passover. The sun now is passed over. Here, you see, here the nights are longer than the days. Here, the days are longer than the night. And the point where that changes is here. That's the point where the sun commences at the 0 degrees Aries, where it starts to produce longer days. So these signs are the commanding signs in astrology, and these are the obeying signs. Summer over winter, day over night, yang over yin. And Jesus gets crucified, the son gets crucified in between two thieves. One thief here, one thief here. The one to the right of him says, Jesus says to him, today I will be with you in paradise. Yeah, because paradise is the heaven heaved up. And this thief, this is the good thief because this is the good season. This is the bad thief who ridicules Jesus dying on the cross. He says, where are you now? You were God, weren't you? And you're dying on the cross. And Jesus looks over to the guy on his left, the bad thief. And the one on the right says, I recognize you as the Lord and Savior. He says, good, because you will be with me today in paradise. This is paradise. This is hell. Infer, under the line of the earth. This is the line of the earth. This is the meridian. The line of the earth, not the ball, the line of the earth. Infer means infernal. It means under the ground. And it also means invernal, winter. Okay, so what we have, this is how to decode the Bible in all Bibles, not history.
Santos, is that also where the word inferior comes from? Inferior?
Of course.
Like inferior, yeah.
Okay, let me show you something really interesting. Can someone pull up the times that the two planes crashed on 9/11? I want to show you how much you can rely on astrology to forecast everything that happens to the T. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up. Once we get the two times, we're going to pull up both horoscopes and we're going to see how an astrologer knows what is going in the skies, and you're going to read the skies for that day, and this will show you how wonderful and powerful astrology is. Can anyone help me with the time? I've got it here, but I'm looking up Wikipedia. But
I'm also searching.
It's so naive to believe the moon is make the eclipse. It's on the same level of the ball. The same level.
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and gravity too.
Yeah, I believe it crosses through the sun. It goes. It's orb or whatever you want to call it is crossing through the sun. Okay, I've got one. It's 9:03 a.m. Hijackers crashed United Airlines into the tower. Okay, we've got 9. Okay, 8:46. Here it is, guys. Let me share my screen. I have to share my screen anyway, and I'll finish with this, guys. Oh, we can do questions. It depends.
I've got a question waiting, Santos.
Yeah.
After already.
And just remember, guys, anyone who knocks astrology while I'm breathing, they better absolutely have their I's dotted and their T's crossed, because I'll smash them to pieces. I will show them how stupid they are. Don't you ever, 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 do not ever underestimate the power of astrology and its beauty, and that it is divine. You see, this is the funny thing, guys. They want us to think that the astrology is from the devil. Yeah. Well, Are those good words?
Divine source?
Yeah, are they good words?
Yeah.
They're great words. I love the divine, yeah? Because
And
I'm a diviner,
Divine.
yeah? And I'm a
Oh,
sorcerer.
yeah. Oh, wow.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, so all those astrologers, they're diviners. Yeah, they talk about what's divine. Have you got a problem with that? Oh, they're sorcerers. It's good to know the source from time to time rather than being like a lost sheep scattered around in the wilderness, torn and tattered and about to die of thirst in the wilderness. I think it'd be good to be a sorcerer. I think it'd be very nice to be able to know who the source is, the creator. Don't you think?
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh, mate, when I hear people say astrology's from the devil, man, I want to just tear them to pieces. I want to just absolutely
I got the time.
freaking.
I got one time that's 9:43, but that was the time the Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. It was at
All right.
9:43.
I've got it here, man. I've got it.
But
That's cool. I've got it here.
All right.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we're looking.
yeah,
Okay. I'm going to go with this time because I remember it. 8:46, first plane, crashes. Watch this, killing everybody on board. Okay, 8:46 a.m. Then we go over to here, 9:02. No, wait a minute, 9:03. Okay. Hijackers crashed the airline. So it's about 15 minutes. So let's keep those 8:46, 9:03. Okay. So let's redo this one, this Aquarian. Oh no, I'll probably do one here. Click on here, free chart. And we put 11th September 2001, 8:46.
yeah.
$8:46. Okay, pay attention, guys. Now we'll pull up another one. Are you watching?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, because you're going to have to show people this, because once you see what I'm about to show you, you are going to want to tell the world. You are going to be a competent astrologer to point out all the things that happen on that day, quite simply.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I do time and time again when I look into astrology. It is the science of energy. It is the science of energy, conscious energy. It's not demonic. It's God science. And please don't let anyone on your shows or anyone, anytime in your face ever say anything against astrology. Please, it will curse you if you don't open your mouth and correct them. It will curse you. This is disgusting. This is demonic that they could even say that, they're idiots. Stupid, 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 useless idiots. Stupid. Totally stupid. How much do they know about astrology? They condemn astrology. They know nothing about it. Nothing. Nothing. Stupid, stupid people. Idiots. And they run in the same trap that the Jesuits have set up for all of us. You know, the globe trap, the historical Jesus trap. They're all traps. They're all stupid freaking traps. And I've exposed them all. Okay. So, first thing you'll notice, there's a bit of background noise, man. Can everyone please, because I'm getting a lot of fuzz, big fuzz. Please mute. That's better. Okay, now, first thing you'll notice,
is Saturn, Satan, in Gemini, the twins. Okay, now Saturn, as you'll see, is right next to the moon in Gemini as well. Now, what's going on is he is squaring with the sun. There it is. There's the sun. Okay, it's 8:46 in the morning. First plane crashes. Mercury is right. The messenger of God is right on the eastern horizon, just popping up to give the message. How many transmissions of messages occurred on that day? I mean, there was news outlets. This was communication on steroids. There is Mercury in a sign of communication, air, Libra, justice, rising in the 14th degree, on the 14th degree of the ascendant, telling the world what the sun is witnessing. The sun is squaring with Saturn in Gemini from Virgo. Of course, 9/11 is Virgo, yeah? And squaring with Pluto, the destroyer. Pluto is directly opposite the sun. 12 degrees, 14 degrees. Destroyer, destroyer. Okay? Now, Saturn is in the 9th house. When the first plane hit, Saturn was in the 9th house. When the second plane hits, you can see Saturn and the moon have entered the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death. The 9th house is the house of travel. And they're all there. Jupiter, North Node, Moon, Saturn. Very telling. This is the house of long distance travel. Opposite, short distance. This is domestic travel. This here is international, more or less, or long journeys, period. Okay, now, Saturn is a killer in the twins. He is in the house of traveling, flying, Satan, and this is when the first plane hits. Then, when the second plane hits, I better get rid of this Skype. Then, when the second plane hits, Saturn has just entered the 8th house, the house of death. And the moon is smack bang in the middle of the 8th house. The moon is the one that controls everything. She has caused what? These two have caused death. This is death. Even though I don't believe 3,000 people died, I believe those all floors were empty. The planes were a holographic type projection, and the weapons they used were, nano super duper whiz bang technology. And the floors, there's plenty of evidence that there was no one actually occupying and renting any of those floors. So hence that small pile of dust at the bottom. And that's why they fell so quickly as well. But the point is, it was the death of something. The moon is symbolizing death in the 8th house, which is the house of death. Okay. Now, this T-square, this rectangle, triangle that the sun is with these two destroyers, these red devils, Pluto and Saturn, in the mutable signs. See, everything's mutable. Whenever things of major event happen in mutable signs, big change. Mutable means to mutate, and they are bicorporeal signs. So Gemini is two twins, Virgo is two natures, Sagittarius is two natures, and Pisces is two fish. They are unique, these four signs. They cross each other. Then you have the tropical points, Aries here, and Libra, and Cancer, and Capricorn up here. You'll notice it's the other way around from the graph that I did. Yeah, well, that's because the astrological signs go around anti-clockwise here, but the planets and everything, they go around clockwise. Everything is turning clockwise 24 hours, but the order of everything is going anti-clockwise yearly. So the signs must be going this way, but it doesn't matter. They're only graphs, okay? And intelligent people will not get confused. Now you'll notice a grand trine as well. That's beautiful. The blue shift, those blue lines in the middle there, they are all good. They are harmonious trines. And you'll notice that there is also a trine to Saturn. So Saturn is also being trined. So in other words, there is some good in this. There is some kind of a, something, I guess, of eternal benefit is going to come out of this, because you cannot have this situation of a grand trine. See that perfect blue triangle there? Well, actually, it's not even a grand trine. No, it's not. But it looks like one, but it's not. It's not a perfect. These 2 points aren't connecting, Neptune and Uranus. So, but nonetheless, this trine is actually good for Saturn. It's a good message. All right, Mercury is trining with Saturn. So, in other words, there's going to be something good will come out of it. What will, I don't know. But, you know, well, the awakening, I guess people are awakening to these false flag events. But you'll notice Jupiter in the midheaven in Cancer, where he exalts. And the North Node is also in Cancer. And this is the house of travel. What else do we notice? Venus in Leo, the passions of the heart. Venus in Leo was a beautiful. Venus in Leo is, you know, making the heart feel virtue and blessings and passion and good things. So, but this is not really playing much of a part in today's events. Mostly Mercury there. As you can see, Mercury on the ascendant. When Mercury is rising, whatever sign is rising is the sign of the personality of the day. So Libra was rising, okay? Justice, balance, equilibrium. The fact that Libra is also a mental sign. It's air. And Mercury is in Libra. And so Mercury is also the ruler of air. And Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, air. And so he's also the ruler of Virgo, where the sun is right now. And so what we have there is a very, very prominent Mercury. What it's saying is that messages are going out from a very, very powerful node, which is the Eastern Ascendant. The rising planet in the rising sign, Libra, is you mix their energies together. You can't separate them. So the ascendant there is Libra. You have to mix the factor of justice and balance with Libra, and you have to mix it with Mercury. And Mercury is all about communication, the will of God, the messenger of God, the sun, and also it is intellectual, as is Libra. So you can see that whenever T-squares occur, by the way, massive events occur in the world, especially when they are linked with oh, here we go. Here's the kite. Here the kite. You see Uranus there? He's making that trine. You can see the trine disappeared in 15 minutes. There's no more trine. See this here? Saturn is not connecting perfectly to Neptune or to Uranus. But here we have a grand trine. There you go. And Venus is at the top of it, opposite Uranus. So this is the grand trine, guys. This line from Uranus up to Saturn in the twins, Satan in the twin towers. And remember, when they built the twin towers, Saturn was 30 years earlier. Saturn was in Gemini, okay, in 72, 73, 75, around those when they opened it. So it's all by design. They know where to put Satan. Saturn did a whole 30 years it took him to go all the way back to Gemini. Bang. They stuck him in the house of travel and the house of death. They knew that they had to do it around this time, because then these energies, whenever you see a grand trine like this, see Saturn's part of that grand trine, that means something good will come out of it, an awakening or a mental. See, it's a trine in air. Gemini, Mercury, trining with Saturn Libra, Mercury in Libra, trining with Saturn in Gemini, trining with Uranus in Aquarius. And Uranus was where he's supposed to be, in Aquarius, because that's his. So this is the return of Uranus, more or less, making his orchestrating this grand trine and kite with Venus. And all of these positions, guys, I mean, Mars and Moon. Mars on the 27th first degree of Capricorn, and Moon just entered Gemini. And this opposition, Mars does not like aspecting like this with the Moon. Only if the Moon is waning, and it is a waning Moon. There's the Moon. She's going to be, in 7 days, she'll be with the Sun. So she's waning. Yeah, opposite Moon is over here where dark Lilith is. And then she's been going that way. So Mars is comfortable. Mars and Venus love to aspect with a waning Moon. Opposite with Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury. But if the Moon was on this side and she was together with Mars, that would have been even worse. But nonetheless, this is still not a good opposition with Mars. Mars and Moon. Mars is action. And this is when the first plane hit. Okay? That's where it happened. Mars is in the house of short journeys. So he shortened the journey, didn't he? And the Moon is the short journeyer in the house of long trips because they were planning to fly a long journey. Now, I can go on and on and on, but that's enough, guys. This shows you how to read the skies. This is a true science. No fallen angel taught humanity this. If they taught them the science of divination, well, they must have taught them another modality, a modality which is evil, probably for the purpose of deluding people. I don't know. But this is God's science, okay? And whenever I hear someone, that's why I've been so zealous in today's presentation. I might not be on another one because I happen to hear someone who I expected to be way, way more intelligent, showing some very, very, very foolish nonsense and stupidity. Astrology is God's science, okay? Job 38:32. Can you tell the Mazzaroth, yes or no? If not, you're a dickhead. Simple. Period. I rest my case. Okay. So, what else can we do for fun? Are you there?
Maybe it's fun to do Karen's chart, her birth chart.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the son of basically the Sun and Moon Grove mother. So maybe it's fun to do her chart and explain a little bit about Karen's birth chart. Maybe that's it. Fun.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
okay.
And then I'll have to go because I've got to go into town for a meeting today.
Santos, one question in the chat room from Time is, Santos, is more than one firmament with the nodes and the stars trapped between them? Is there more than one firmament?
Well, this is the thing. All of those 7 planets, Sun and Moon included, they have their own torus fields, which are firmaments, okay? So they've got their own glassy crystalline structures surrounding them, and they all interact with each other, but somehow they are said to be in the firmament. Genesis tells you that in the 4th day of creation. He put everything in the firmament. The Greeks, Anaximenes and Anaximanders, said that the stars were nailed into the firmament. Okay, so what we're looking at is a torus field and the outer edge of it, and those stars are just luminous parts of it as the dielectric and magnetic intersect with each other and create like a lattice of, a carbon type structure that is surrounding our beautiful golden egg. So, Karen, can we have your details?
Woohoo! 2:10 afternoon, 14th of June.
Hang on, 2:10. I was expecting the birthday. Okay, so I'm in the time. Let's 2:10 afternoon.
Yep.
Okay, birthday.
14th of June, 1963.
June. That's my year, sister. 1963.
I know there's a lot of 63ers around at the moment.
And place of birth?
Wokingham, UK.
Spell?
Oh my gosh, it's W
Yeah.
O K I N G H A M. That's right, yeah.
.210. Can you guys see my thingy here? No, okay. You can't see my screen now, can you?
No.
Let me see you.
Okay, I went off that. Okay, I'll start again. Sharing the screen. All right, can you see that?
Yeah.
Alrighty. First thing I notice here. Oh, Mercury just slipped out of Gemini. That would have been much more powerful, this combination with Venus. This is beautiful. Whenever you see people that have Venus-Mercury conjunctions, they are great sweet talkers. Very, very sweet when they speak. They're very soft, very intelligent, very intellectual, musical. A lot of actors have these, like Johnny Depp. I've noted many people have the power of the tongue, great powers. Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali, what he could do with his lips in the ring was he was able to absolutely confound people with all that sweet talk. He would blow them kisses. He would say, I love you, you know, and in the middle of a fight. That's Mercury is your tongue, your communicator. Venus is your virtue. Now, both of these are right of the sun. If they were on this side of the sun, they would be less virtuous. It means that they rise. They are vespertine. They are easterly. They rise before the sun. It's a morning rising. So their glory is even more, okay? Because they are right of the sun. If the sun's here and something is rising first, it has more strength because it is before the sun. So Venus was a morning star when you were born. So 7 hours earlier, way over here, you would have seen Venus in that morning as a morning star at twilight. And then 5 years later, here you are, 5 hours later, you are born after midday in the PM, post-meridian. So, but what you've got here is a little bit of trouble, though. You've got a T-square going there. See those red lines from these bad boys?
Bad boys.
Yeah, you might as well keep your mic on, Karen, so you can interact with me here. See these? This is Mars, Pluto, and Uranus. Okay, this is a T-square. Saturn retrograding. This is a little bit of trouble. Okay, now where the trouble is this one's pointing to the social life and friends. Lots of activity. You got some very eclectic friends, eclectic relationships. Uranus in Virgo. This is all eclectic. All of this energy. Pluto, transformative. Mars, heroic. So this is how you act and interact with your social life, clubs, institutions, organizations, etc., and friends in general. Socially, this is how you behave. Very active. This is you, hero. Very eclectic. Unconventional, transformative, can be destructive. Watch out, friends who are on the wrong path. Karen will absolutely shut one door, you know, and open another one for them. Totally revolutionary, transformative. Sun, this is good for you and long journeys. Great for you to go traveling abroad. Same with these two here in the house of traveling abroad. Mercury, Gemini in the 9th house means you will do many travels abroad, many long travels. The sun is here. Sun loves the 9th house. It's the favorite house of the sun. This is where he is the most benefic. So you are receiving visions and dreams and spiritual insights beyond any other, you know, all things being equal, other people. Vitality, you have mastered the hermetic
sciences, or at least you're on your path to, depending on the progressions, which I should have done. I'll tell you what, I'll do this again more thoroughly. I'll do the progressions as well. Now let's test my memory, okay? You're watching me in real time punch in your details. That was slow. Karen.
I'll use that one.
Female.
14.
14. No. Let me. I'm testing my memory. Remember?
Oh, okay. You couldn't get the year wrong, though, Santos.
Sorry?
We know me and Santos know we're born in the same year.
No. 2:10 p.m. UK, Britain, and Wallingham?
No, Wokingham.
Ah, right. See, there you go. My memory failed me. But
it's all right, sir.
That's Wokingham, England. All right. So there's you, Karen. 14th of June, 63, 2:10, yeah?
Yeah.
PM. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to progress the chart. So we're going to have natal, and progressed. So you'll see the same configuration as before, exactly the same chart, but you're going to see progressed green planets on the outside. See all these are going to affect today, the year you are in now, okay? You see the sun has progressed 54 years from your Gemini, Gemini sun was here in the natal, but now in the progressed, the sun has moved 54 degrees for the 54 years of your life. It's now up to first. Oh my God. Hang on a minute. Yeah, guess where your sun is? On the no, wait a minute. Natal chart and progressions for 1st of September. Well, your sun is in the 1st of September. There you go.
Oh, it's now.
Yeah, something's wrong with that though, because this sun here is in August. It's now in August, not 1st of September. So here is the 25th of July. Here is August. This is about the 5th of August. So something's wrong with this. Probably I won't worry about the progressed charts. That sun looks wrong. But anyway, going back to your chart. So where do you excel? Well, first of all, your destiny is here with the North Node, okay? So maybe we can go back to the other one. I like using the other one for teaching. Reason being is because when you highlight it, it shows you the aspects. So North Node, this is your destiny, career, public life. Your public reputation needs to be protected. And you need to, well, pay attention in that area, I guess. North Node is where you are going to fulfill your chart. In other words, if you don't pay attention to where the North Node is, it's a life wasted. So the 10th house is all about dignity, honor, glory, your public reputation, how you operate, your career, and what your career means to you. So get it right in that area, okay? My North Node is here in the 12th house. That's the house of enlightenment. Well, I think I'm on the way to enlightenment with my syncretism. Yep, I'm doing what my North Node requires. Here you have a Pisces moon, like I do, very similar in that respect. Pisces moon, very sensitive, needs reassurance, very dreamy, very visionary, and lots of other great virtues with the Pisces moon. Beautiful. You've got Saturn in Aquarius, lucky girl. I had Jupiter. Yours is in Aries.
My Jupiter was in Pisces.
What does that mean exactly then, Santos?
What's that?
You're explaining, oh, that's nice there and that's nice there. So what does that mean then?
Well, Saturn or Jupiter? I said two things.
Each one.
Okay.
The first one.
All right. Well, Saturn in Aquarius, this is his domicile. He's the ruler of Aquarius. Okay. And he's the ruler of Capricorn. So that's called domicile. And you get 5 points of essential dignity. So that means you've got a planet that is essentially dignified. Mercury just missed out because Mercury is in Taurus and he's going to be in on the 29th degree of Taurus. He's going to be 34 minutes of arc. So 29 degrees, 34. He'll be crossing over into Gemini where he would have given you 5 points of essential dignity in about 5 or 6 hours. So you just missed out. But you do have dignity with Saturn in Aquarius, but he's retrograding, which wipes out those 5 points. So it means you've got a good Saturn. It's a day chart. Saturn prospers by day. So he's okay. He's just retrograding, which means something here with regard to the 5th house. Children, pleasure. I see restrictions there. Restrictions when it comes to children. Maybe you wanted children and couldn't have them, or maybe you only had 3 and wanted 5, or 1 and wanted 3. But definitely Saturn retrograding. What's saved you? It's a day chart and he's in Aquarius. But Saturn in the 5th house will certainly restrict your pleasure and interactions with children. And the T-square doesn't help either. Those red lines, those aspects, that's pretty much the weather. This is the weather of your chart. The essential dignities is the type of car you're driving. So you've got some essential dignities, so you're not driving a jalopy. And the accidental dignities, that's the road that you're on. So if you want to have a good Sunday drive, 3 things must conspire. Good car, good road, good weather. So you've got the good car because you've got some essential dignity. You've got some planets in nice places. Neptune in Scorpio is good. Sun in Gemini is good. Venus doesn't mind Gemini that much either. Jupiter in Aries is not bad. Moon in Pisces, that's a good one. So essential dignity is good. Accidental dignity is where the planets are in houses. Well, you were born accidentally at 210. So your sun is accidentally in the 9th house. Essentially in Gemini, the sign, but accidentally it's in the 9th house. Well, that's a good accidental dignity. Jupiter is angular. That's good. The angular signs are close to these descendant, ascendant, MC, and IC. So those planets are strong. So Jupiter, the benefic, is strong. Moon is weak in cadence. These guys are semi-strong in a succedent house. So you've got a fairly good road that your car is on. Your accidental dignity is pretty good. Now the weather are the aspects, and you've got a T-square which is not good. I mean, the weather's not so good. Okay, so there's going to be some weather bumps as you.
I was doing very well there then, Santos. I was a bit wrong then. Okay, then on the T.
What's that?
I said I was doing so well then, and then we've got a T.
Yeah, well, every chart is like this. It's mixed blessings. There are good things, there are strengths, and there are weaknesses. But essentially, what you're looking at is the ascendant sign is your personality and your health. Okay? Well, that's in here. Here is your wealth. So what I am, what I have. Okay? Here is how you treat your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, your relatives, how you communicate, how you self-educate on a secular level. And this is spiritual. Higher learning, lower learning, secular learning, sacred learning. Your partners. So if you're over here, you rest assured that opposite you is your partners and other people. Okay, this is the partner's house. And look at you, you've got Jupiter there. So you are very generous to your partners, very benefic, very much the model of you are giving, because Aries is a masculine fire sign. It's giving. So this energy is you giving love and goodwill to your partners, Jupiterian joviality, happiness. You know, you're a benefactor to your partners. Okay, the fourth house is your private life. Private is opposite your public. And we already learned that your public is your destiny. So home, yeah, okay, home is not so the place where you should be focusing. Get out, travel abroad, get out into the public, be social. See, this is a very, all the planets are above the line of the Earth, which is going across here. Okay, that's the line of the Earth. This is the meridian. So if you've got a preponderance of planets above, that means you're more extrovert than introvert, and you're more public and social and traveling abroad and out there. You know, okay?
There's a lot of traveling abroad there.
Sorry?
There's a lot of traveling abroad there, and I'm abroad at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so then the fifth house is pleasure and children. The sixth house is dealing with illnesses and service to others and how you treat your employees, partners, legal matters, how you treat others. Sexual attractiveness is here in the eighth. Occult science is here. Death and inheritances from dead relatives, etc. Money of partners is here. Here is travel, religious science, dreams, visions, astrology, and all spiritual high learning. Here is the public life. Here is the social life. Here is enlightenment. And here is also self-undoing and enemies. This is the house of friends. This is the house of enemies. And that's how you read a chart, okay? This is energy. This is God energy, God thinking, okay? Nothing scary about astrology. It's pure science. And if those naughty fallen angels taught humans at one stage sciences after God had already schooled them and taught them in everything because they knew everything anyway, well, what it symbolizes is that the fallen angels came at a period when the cosmos was struggling, you know, the Iron Age, and they came and taught people inverted sciences, okay? Not astrology, because the Mazzaroth belongs to God. He's the creator. Please don't tolerate any stupidity and nonsense when people talk rubbish, and don't let me ever hear them, please, because I'll get furious. I don't want to hear idiots degrading astrology. These are no brain people. Sorry, not in front of me, man.
Wow.
It kind of feels like destroying the Most High's work.
They are. They're falling into the trap of the Jesuits, who created a globe, who created false astrology that is totally from the fallen angels. They are disrespecting this holy science. These symbols belong to God. That pentagram, that is God's. It's in your DNA. You've got the pentagonal and the hexagonal bonds. The hex and the pex. That's it. And that's what's called the serpent. You see, the serpent of your DNA that somehow seems to be out of phase, doesn't it? The DNA, they always do the double helix like that. They never put it sort of really in phase, and they twist it. Okay? Well, it's just this. Okay? Helix is Helios. Helios. And that's the S. Okay? So the serpent, that's the serpent in the DNA. Well, that's the pentagram and that's the hex. Okay? So you've got this type of structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the DNA. You've got the pent That's the pentagram, and that's the Sera. The serpent. The Sera is the hex. Okay, so we've been hexed. 6, the 6th sign of the zodiac, the sign of health, good health and bad health. We've been hexed by who in the garden? That we ate the apple?
In my crochet work, 5 actually creates a corner in a flat plane.
The which?
And I built them with 6s. If you put a 5 on a corner of a 6,
yeah,
and you actually go around, and if you actually do that on all 6 corners, you actually end up with a tube. So the 5 creates a corner into a circle.
Yeah.
From a flat into a circle.
There you go. There you go. You see? So that's how you get the spiraling effect, the serpent. Spiral is the spirit of God. This is the spirit of God. Electricity. Spirit, spiral. Spirit. Remember the word pir? Allah. Spiralla. The Sera and the Pent, the serpent in the Garden of Eden, which told Eve, you can eat from the knowledge of good, positive, the sun above the line of the earth, and evil. You see, when Virgo, remember my little wheel, Virgo's always here, Aries is here, just as they taught us. Pay attention. That is the heavens. They're teaching you how the heavens are made, how you shall be initiated in the science of God. This is how you'll be initiated in the science of God. So when see, the serpent, Draco, goes from here to here. Draco is a constellation of Sagittarius. And it spans from here to Libra. Libra, the scales, is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because it's the equinox where the sun has tasted of good, Eve, Virgo, the Virgin, Eve, Virgo. She eats the apple of good and evil. Now they must go down naked, where God gives them, because winter's cold, so God clothes them. So you've got Adam and Eve, red and blue shift. And so Virgo is always there, eating the fruit of good and evil, the equinox of the 23rd of September coming up in a few weeks. And that's the tree. And Draco, Hercules is a constellation of Scorpio, Hercules, and serpents caput, the head of the serpent, is right here in Libra, right there, in the tree. There's a serpent called serpent caput. Caput means the head of the serpent. It's here in Libra. And Draco, the dragon in the garden. You see, so the serpent of infernal hell, Draco, and the serpent of Hercules, they are waiting for Eve to eat the apple of the DNA. The serpent is the DNA. Dan, Adan, everything is Atum. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I've got to go to town.
Santos, hey, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Santos.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Please,
like
thanks.
to encourage.
Wonderful.
It was great.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you for doing thanks for doing my birth chart extra, so that now every single body on flat Earth will know who I am from the inside out.
Yep.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Santos?
Take care. Oh, well, I just want to encourage people to revisit this particular show, okay? Because there's a lot more in there than what met the eye. If you go a second time around, rewatch it. You'll see.
We've got to come back.
You only got 10% of what I said. Even if you are extremely, extremely, extremely intelligent, which you are, I'm guaranteeing you, there's 90% there waiting for you in the rewatch. Alrighty.
Wow.
Hey, before Santos goes, we're going to come back and give him. Everybody, come back and give him a hug. A Santos hug. You did. Yay! Thank you, Santos. We love you.
See you.
Likewise. Namaste.
Hey.
Thank you.
Jaya Raja.
Thank you so much. Woo, guys. Oh,
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Lovely, Santos.
Incredible.
yeah, and now the whole of YouTube knows who I am.
Well, that was a lot of food for a night, huh?
Oh,
Indeed, I have to rewatch
Yeah.
this a couple of times.
yeah. Watch it a couple of times.
Most of the time I rewatch the Hangouts a couple of times.
You did, don't you? You did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Incredible. Yes.
And just in case anybody in the chat room, I'm sitting next to Ceres. I've gone to see Ceres in Holland.
Hello.
It's so wonderful to see you two together.
Yeah. Wow. I'm still a bit thingy bob to that plane flight though, where it took 35 minutes to do this journey. Like,
it would mean that you actually were traveling 522 miles per hour in a prop plane. It's pretty fast, if you ask me.
1 hour 10 minutes from UK to the Netherlands got cut down to about 35 minutes.
Maybe the love of Karen made the plane go faster.
Yeah, with those blades. Do you remember the blades I sent you?
Yeah, that photo.
Ceres, put it up. Put up the photograph.
Where are you, Patricia? Where are you?
Patricia.
She's in there.
I'm here.
Hey.
You didn't come for a hug.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
I was the only one that did.
Oh,
Let you off.
who is it?
Where did you see it?
We're just looking for the picture. Shall I send it to you again?
Yeah, really, that's
One second, I'm just sending it to Ceres. Oh, Santos has already, I've sent something to Santos. He's already replied. Right, where's Ceres? 2 seconds, guys, while I get the picture. It made me laugh a lot today because once you see this, if you actually saw it like that, you'd never want to go on the plane. Right. There you go. I took the picture, and that's what that's what the propeller looked like. Can they see it yet?
No, not good.
I can see that now. Yeah.
It's as if the blades are flying like wings, but then very fast.
I mean, I didn't see it like that to the naked eye. I couldn't even see the blade moving. But when I took the picture, that's what it looked like. But if it had been looking like that and I saw it, I'd want to go say, please take me back to the airport. Weird that, isn't it? The phone camera can pick that up. But can everybody notice it's flat?
Yeah, it's like that's a paint game.
It's flat. Even on the little propeller plane.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been on one of those before. And it does, what is it, how many miles?
Apparently 522.
It
But
does
that's,
500.
but that's without accally taking account to go down and up. I mean, that would be pretty fast.
Yeah, you also have to subtract actually the lift off. Yeah.
It's a constant 522 miles per hour trip from airport to airport.
They told us we made up 35 minutes of an hour and 10-minute flight. How can that be? Anyway, that was just a boundary that was a bit strange.
It's almost impossible.
With propellers like that.
Yeah, they were flying probably when they were rotating.
But I didn't see it like that. I couldn't see the blades moving, but that's what the picture took of the blades. I noticed it does have, how many blades did it have? It had
6.
6, but 4 of them are down the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're all bended downwards, but then from top sides, the one towards us and the other one from us.
Yeah, they
It's
bent.
so weird.
They are bent in a different direction on top. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all downwards.
It's the most weirdest looking thing. I'm glad I didn't actually see that outside the window, because I would have really asked them to take me back.
It's were as if they were static, and then in the meanwhile just flattering as wings on a wing or something.
We flapped there. Anyway, we have been going for quite a while now, guys, after that amazing Santos hangout.
Oh, yeah. I like to say something, Karen.
Yeah.
What I mean, what I tell to Santos, and I hope everybody understand me, is the moon doesn't have two sides. It have only one side, so it can't come before the sun. Never ever, because you see only one side of the moon. It doesn't have two sides, so it can't make this. It can't make this. It can't come before the sun. Yeah, and it's on the same level as the belief in the ball. The same level.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm. And it's a chocolate chip cookie as well.
Yes.
I'm afraid so.
Now Karen made me hungry again for chocolate chip cookies.
Well, according to Chris's work, it's a beef burger and a chocolate chip cookie. Oh dear, we have a bit of a laugh sometimes. It's very serious stuff. We've talked about rather a lot of stuff today. We've been on for quite a while now, and 3.5 hours. Do you think that I'm really tired? I've been up now for nearly 24 hours now.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
To do my 35-minute plane fight.
all right.
Yes.
Wow.
Is there anything you want? Does anybody want to say anything before we go? Artists, or you did?
Oh, it was wonderful, incredible evening. So important because
You did watch this again, won't you? You did.
I see so many videos they speak about Santos. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yes.
Yeah.
Artist, did you enjoy that then?
Yeah, I
you-
enjoyed it very much because he. Yeah, it was very interesting. He
Yeah,
did
thanks,
this word charts about you, and it's also we put it in the Hangout chat that everybody else can also see what their birth chart is like. So that fact only that small portion was very interesting. All the other things Santos talked about was also very interesting and important to understand how the world works, how it really works, and not what we are taught in school, but the real truth. And that's what is very nice to see that he explains it in such a great way for that most people can understand it. And yeah, I was very glad to be part of this hangout again and see Santos live explaining the real truth about the earth we live on. So that's great. Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of repeating a part of his work what I've already seen a year ago or 2 years ago. And yeah, it's just finding the next level in it with that whole syncretism. As we still keep learning, so far his book has brought me a lot of ideas of actually kind of reality in the week. Other data and all the moon sun and moon photos, and brings a lot of perspective in how this stuff really works. And yeah, I guess we are still waiting for a few extra strange things the truth actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually get out of the fiction we think reality is, out of the dream, actually facing ourselves in the core essence of who we are. Probably we're all the centers of the whole thing.
Plus, with your work, Chris's work, Santos, all comes sort of the same. Now everybody's realizing that all their work is the same work, really, just said slightly differently.
Yeah, we're all
or in slightly different bits
from our own unique perspective towards the same point in the middle, and we join up and make a circle what syncretism actually means.
Yeah, that also proves that you are on the right track, because all your research fits together like it should. Yeah. But that also proves that you are on the right, because it fits together. There's no one loose screw that the whole story he's telling and you are telling in pictures and everything all fits together. So yeah, that's also very clear that it's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great hangout, and I think we're going to finish now, though. Yeah, on that note, because I'm really tired. Really sorry, but I've been up nearly 24 hours now. But just to let everybody know that tomorrow we've got Mr. Thrive and Survive at 9 p.m. with Sun and Moon, and Chris is back tomorrow. So thanks very much for watching. Hugs, everybody on the panel. We all love each other. We talk to each other all the time. Yeah. Patricia, come back.
She's here.
Hey guys. Everybody.
Yay! Thanks to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for everybody for watching. And you've got to watch it. How many times? 6 times to get it properly.
Well, 10% at the time, so probably 9 times.
God, that means they'll name me not 6 times more. Anyway. Ha! See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. UK time. Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.